Good morning, good morning. Oh, there we are. Good morning, everybody. Good morning. Thank you so much for coming out this morning for the special event that's happening in University Park, all right? We're going to be getting ready in about 2 minutes. What we want you to do is get your last refreshments because you need to be attentive to what's going to be said today. So if you have any last desires to go and grab you something to snack on, please go do that now, and then we'll start. So first, again, good morning and welcome, welcome. We are so grateful you're here today on behalf of Mayor Joseph E. Rudez III, the Honorable Mayor Joseph E. Rudez III, and this entire servant board of trustees. I want to introduce you to them shortly because they are tireless workers for this community, working hard for you in everything that they do on a consistent basis. So these are who you elect. Make sure you get to know them. Make sure you get to talk to them and speak to them today before you leave, okay? So first, I want to tell you who I am. I'm Kimberly Sanders. I'm such a proud, proud resident in these south suburbs, but specifically, I am excited to be here working in and around this great village, the great village of University Park. I want you to give University Park, the great village of University Park, a round of applause before we start. I say that because not many towns come to you and give you the business. What's happening now, what's going to happen, what we're looking to do, and the things that we've been successful at doing. So your town is a town that's transparent and unique because they want you to know so you can be a part of the growth and the success of this great village, okay? All right, so I want to do some housekeeping things. This is a small space, but the bathroom is to my left. We have one space there, so don't line up there. And if we need to get out of here really quick because there's an emergency, jet to that door right there, okay? Everybody be safe. All right, we will have a great decorum this morning for sure so that we can make sure that you hear all the pertinent information that needs to be shared and obviously give you an opportunity later to share your questions. We'll be coming around with cards to streamline the process so that you'll have every person's question may be able to be asked and answered. All right? First, we are asking you to please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Every time I hear that, I want to start singing the national anthem. All right, we are going to have prayer. Is Pastor Sean Aldridge here? Pastor Sean Aldridge? Okay, so we are going to have Pastor Oluwake. Oluwake, am I saying that right? You'll help me. Okwe. Thank you.
Pastor Scott Onkwe, wonderful. Let's look to the Lord in prayer. Father God, we thank you for this day, recognizing that this is the day that you have made. Scripture tells us to rejoice and be glad in it. Father God, we're so happy that we're here in University Park as we meet with the constituents of this great township. We pray, Father God, for the mayor, the trustees, all of the elected officials, all of the leadership for this community. And we also pray for the residents, Father God, that they will be safe and they will be encouraged even in perilous times such as these. We pray, Father God, that you'll continue to move upon our hearts and give us an agenda of unity and collaboration. Continue, Father God, to move us forward. Allow your peace, Father God, to reside in this township. We pray, Father God, against any ills or any evil doings that may come up. We continue, Father God, to look to the hills from which cometh our help, realizing that all of our help truly comes from the Lord. We thank you, Father God, for all you do in our lives. In Jesus' name we do pray. Amen.
Amen. Amen. Thank you, Pastor. I want to first just take a moment to welcome and thank representatives from Senator Patrick Joyce's office, Ms. Sarah DeLuca. We want to give her a hand clap of praise. Thank you for being here. And our own Jennifer Bertino Tarrant. She's the Will County Executive. I saw her, she's back there, all right. Notice where they sit. They're people that are huge in our lives. They do great things for and with us, but they take a humble seat in the rear. So that's a sign of a true humble servant. All right, we want to get started really quick. I want to do the introductions of our servant elected officials. I was thinking about this last night. How do you introduce people who just truly give of their time, their family's time? I've been one of those people before elected, and you don't get to sleep much. Your stomach churns a lot at night because you're always trying to make the right decision. Sometimes it's not the one that everybody likes, but it's a decision that you send people who are elected to do that job. I only encourage you, as I do today, you see who you have elected, and you need to make sure you become acquainted with them. They should be some of your, on your speed dial, all right? So first, I want to introduce, oh, there he is, your illustrious and the Honorable Mayor, Joseph E. Rudez III.
Thank you for such an honorable introduction, Mrs. Sanders. Thank you so much. All right. Well, good morning, University Park. To our residents, elected officials, village employees, business owners, clergy, educators, veterans, seniors, young people, community partners, and honored guests, thank you for joining us this morning. Before I speak about our finances, our infrastructure, our economic development, or the future of our village, I want to begin with gratitude. First, I want to thank the residents of University Park for giving me the opportunity to serve as your mayor. Serving this community has been one of the greatest honors of my life. I do not take your trust, your confidence, or this responsibility for granted. Public service is not simply about holding a title, it is a duty. It is about sacrifice. It is about showing up when circumstances are difficult, making decisions when the choices are not easy, and remaining focused on the people who place their confidence in you. I am grateful to every resident who has supported us, challenged us, shared ideas, raised concerns, and continued believing in the promise of University Park. I also want to publicly thank my wife, Linda, our First Lady, for her unwavering support. Public service places demands not only on the person holding office, but also on the family standing beside that person. Linda has been a source of strength, wisdom, patience, encouragement, prayer, and peace throughout this journey. I believe something very simple. If you do not have peace at home, it becomes difficult to perform the duties that have been placed before you. Because of her support, her understanding, and her willingness to stand beside me, I have been able to serve this community with greater focus and determination. Linda, thank you for your love, sacrifice, and unwavering support. With gratitude in my heart, I stand before you today, not simply to present a report, but to tell the story of our village. A story about where we were, a story about what we've endured, a story about how far we have come, and most importantly, a story about where we are going next. The state of our village is stronger, our financial foundation is stronger, our partnerships are stronger, our opportunities are expanding, and our future is becoming brighter. A village that endured. The story of University Park is not a story of easy circumstances. It is not a story of overnight success. It is not a story of it is a story of endurance. It is a story of resilience. It is the story of a community that was tested, challenged, and stretched, but refused to be broken. When I was elected in 2019, none of us could have fully anticipated the challenge that awaited us. Within the first 30 days of this administration, we inherited the aqua water crisis, including serious concerns regarding lead contamination in our water system. Soon afterwards, we endured civil unrest. Then came the COVID-19 pandemic, a global emergency that disrupted families, business, schools, churches, public institutions, and nearly every part of our daily lives. They were not ordinary challenges. They were historic tests. They tested our government. They tested our families. They tested our faith. They tested our patience, and they tested our ability to remain united. But through every crisis, the residents of University Park stood firm. You cared for your families, you checked on your neighbors, you adapted to uncertainty, you made sacrifices, you continued working, you continued praying, and you continued believing that our village could emerge stronger. Restoring fiscal responsibility. When this administration took office, University Park faced serious financial and operational challenges. We inherited years of incomplete financial audits. We inherited limited access to important revenues and resources. We inherited aging equipment, deteriorating infrastructure, and a bond rating of a D-. We inherited a village government that needed financial order, stronger accountability, and a clear direction. We understood that before University Park could grow, University Park first had to become stable. Before we could attract business and home builders, we had to restore confidence. Before we could repair roads, modernize equipment, and expand services, we had to put our financial house in order. That required discipline, it required transparency, it required accountability, it required patience. And it required the courage to make difficult decisions and the long-term intent of the entire community. We brought our financial audits current. We strengthened our financial controls. We improved our budgeting procedures. We carefully planned spending. We restored access to revenues and resources that had previously been unavailable. We established a higher standard for the management of public funds. And we made it clear that every taxpayer dollar must be handled responsibly and directed toward the needs of the people. Because of that work, University Park moved from financial instability toward a position of greater strength. For the first time in our village history, we achieved a financial surplus. Our bond rating has increased from a D- to a B. That improvement That improvement represents more than letters on a financial document. It is a signal. It signals to investors that University Park is becoming stronger. It signals to developers that University Park is becoming more stable. It signals to financial institutions, business, government agencies, and regional partners that University Park is moving in the right direction. Most importantly, it signals to our residents that the hard work, difficult decisions, and responsible management of recent years have produced real results. We are no longer managing decline, we are preparing for growth. Building the infrastructure of tomorrow. Fiscal responsibility must be more than numbers on a balance sheet. It must produce results that residents can see. It must show up in our roads. It must show up in our sidewalks. It must show up in our street lights. It must show up in our police vehicles, public works equipment, public facilities, and essential services. For too many years, University Park's infrastructure did not receive the consistent investment it required. Roads deteriorated, equipment aged, repairs were delayed, and the cost of neglect continued to rise. This administration has restored access to motor fuel tax resources and restarted road resurfacing and infrastructure improvement efforts. We began replacing aging police vehicles and public works equipment. We addressed road conditions, street lighting, sidewalk, public facilities, and other community needs. We established priorities based not on personalities or politics, but on urgency, safety, and public need. We know that there are still roads requiring attention. We know that there are still sidewalks needing repair. We know that there are still neighborhoods waiting for improvements. And we know that years of neglect cannot be corrected in a term or two, a year, or a budget cycle. But we also know this: University Park now has a plan. University Park now has direction. University Park has restored resources, and University Park has the financial discipline to move forward, street by street, neighborhood by neighborhood, and project by project. Every repaired road is a promise of progress. Every upgraded light improves safety. Every new vehicle strengthens our ability to serve. The economic development that serves the people. Economic development is not simply about buildings, it is about people. It is about jobs. It is about opportunity. University Park has attracted several substantial interests and investments from companies, industries, developers, and regional partners. Our industrial park has become one of the most important economic engines in the Southland. Our business partners create jobs, they create contracts, they generate revenue. They expand our tax base, and they help University Park as a center for industrial, commercial, technological, and logistical growth. We appreciate every responsible business that has chosen to invest in University Park. But we must go further. Economic development cannot simply pass through University Park, it must lift University Park. Governor State University, a partner in our future. Governor State University is not simply an institution located within our village, it is an essential partner in our future, investing in parks, recreation, and quality of life. Another historic step is the creation of the University Park District, removing personalities and focusing on purpose. Government is not about individual recognition, it is about service. Building rooftops and expanding the tax base. We must build rooftops, we must attract new families, we must expand the number of properties contributing to the tax base. Stable leadership and the road ahead. Stable leadership provides direction, confidence, and progress. And today, I am announcing my intention to seek re-election as mayor of the Village of University Park on April 6, 2027. The choice to move forward now is the time to build. Now is the time to grow. Now is the time to expand. Now is the time to move forward. Together, we can build a stronger University Park. May God continue to bless our residents. May God bless our employees, business, schools, churches, seniors, veterans, young people, and families. May God bless our First Lady Linda and all those who support the work of our public service. And may God continue to bless the great village of University Park, Illinois. Thank you, God bless, and God bless the village of University Park.
All right, so we all know that we're mature individuals, we're adults, and this is a civil opportunity to engage one another. So we don't need the boos, you don't have to clap, but we want to support and be kind and courteous one to another, okay? That's the only way to be. I see a few children in the back, and so we example the behavior that we want them to grow up and be, okay? All right. So that's how we want to behave as big kids, right? Big kids, all right? All right, I'm going to move forward. And I wanted to, you know, the young man that stood before you didn't just become mayor overnight. These trustees just didn't become trustees and servant leaders overnight. So I'm going to tell you a little bit about that young man that just left. For more than 20 years, the mayor has dedicated his life to serving the residents of University Park from his time as a village trustee beginning in 2005 to serving as your mayor since 2019, as he stated. His focus has remained the same, putting the residents of the village of University Park. I'm going to stop because I think it's just important as a bystander. I remember hearing the mayor one day say to a developer, this is eyewitness testimony, ear witness testimony from me. And the developer said, oh, we're so excited, we want to work in University Park. And they said they wanted to bring people from other places to work here. Our mayor said, not a chance unless our people get to work in the project. I've been around many elected officials in my life. I've never heard one say that, and that was quintessential for me as a person who works here, as a person who supports this community, truly a man who has a vision for the residents of University Park. His focus has remained the same, putting you first, the community, and working every day to build a brighter future for our village under his leadership. I just want to say, again, every person sitting behind me is a servant leader. That's the only way you can do this job. So let me introduce a few more of your servant leaders. First, I'm just going to go around counterclockwise. Our tireless worker, my boss, a great lady, our village manager, Elizabeth Scott. I say tireless because she gives her phone number out. She lets you call her 24 hours. Oh my God, and I caution her. You mean you want people to call you 24 hours? And she says, I'm here for the residents of the village of University Park, so thank you. We have our tireless worker in servant trustee in our Karen Lewis. Karen Lewis, trustee here. All right. Next, she's always on the phone trying to help somebody. It's our trustee, Gina Williams. These are your people, guys. And we have another tireless worker. She's anywhere throughout this community, Mrs. Sonia Jenkins Bell. And another one who's always working for especially for the kids. We have trustee Donna Fulcher. All right. We also have our beautiful Miss Jewel Thompson, trustee Jewel Thompson, another servant leader for the village. Okay. And the other man on the board, and I think you said the longest serving trustee, so he's been tirelessly working for many years. That's trustee Theo Brooks. Okay? All right, okay. All right, you're going to meet some of the other people later who, obviously, there's a lot of hardworking people who work in this village on your behalf. I'm so glad to see a lot of you who've been to Village Hall of late, picking up your city stickers and just doing a lot of things that make the village run. When you buy a city sticker, that's going to go towards something that works for the village of University Park. So we really appreciate your stop-bys and your hellos, and sometimes when you're not so happy, we want to cheer you up, okay? All right. Next we will, I lost my, can I borrow just for a minute, where we're going next. This is going to be great. Our village manager's address, so let's give Mrs. Elizabeth Scott our round of applause. You can have it back. Yay!
Good morning, University Park. I have to say I'm so grateful to see almost every chair filled, so I'm grateful for that. First, I'd like to extend a warm welcome to all of our residents, and I'd also like to acknowledge our elected officials, community leaders, business partners, and distinguished guests. Thank you for taking the time out to join us for this meeting's town hall. You could have been anywhere, but you chose to be here. Please join me in recognizing our Mayor, Joseph E. Rudez, our Village Clerk, Dee Jones, who is not able to make it, and our Board of Trustees, Theo Brooks, Karen Lewis, Gina Williams, Jewel Thompson, Donna Fulcher, and Sonia Jenkins Bell. Let's give them a well-deserved round of applause, please. I want to thank you all for your leadership, dedication, and unwavering commitment to serving the residents of University Park. Today's gathering is an opportunity for us to come together as one community, to celebrate our accomplishments, discuss the progress that we've made, and share our vision for the future. I believe that transparency, collaboration, and communication are the foundation of a strong community, and town hall meetings like this help us to continue building that foundation together. It has truly been an honor to serve as your village manager for the past 4 years. I'm deeply grateful to Mayor Rudez and this Board of Trustees for their confidence and support, and I'm proud of what we have accomplished together. Building a stronger financial foundation. One of this administration's greatest accomplishments has been restoring the village's financial stability. Through improved policies and procedures, responsible fiscal management, comprehensive contract reviews, and long-term planning, we have strengthened the village's financial position and created a solid foundation for future growth. We have also worked diligently alongside John Kasperik's accounting team, our auditors, and the state to complete several years of overdue audits that we inherited. We are on track to be fully current by next year. I have to say that you can't build on a shaky foundation. That's first and foremost. Another encouraging indicator of our progress is the continued increase in our equalized assessed values, our EAVs, reflecting growing investment in our community while maintaining property taxes that remain lower than many of our neighboring communities. The challenge of good government is finding creative ways to generate revenue without placing additional burdens on our homeowners. This administration has embraced that challenge through smart commercial and economic development. Our industrial park has attracted hundreds of millions of dollars in private investment, generating millions in new revenue through permits, property taxes, and head taxes that directly benefit our residents. I'm also proud to share that this administration created the first ever comprehensive housing plan in the history of University Park, which is providing a blueprint for future residential growth. Looking ahead, we are excited to learn that this past Thursday, the Chicago Metropolitan Agency for Planning, CMAP, awarded the village technical assistance to develop our capital improvement plan. This will help prioritize infrastructure investments for years to come. Additionally, the proposed TIF 7 boundary extension represents a significant economic development initiative and driver that will attract new businesses, encourage private investment, and strengthen our local economy for years to come. Strong finances allow us to invest back in our community. Over the past several years, we have completed major infrastructure improvements, including resurfacing Abbott and Amherst, Black Hawk Drive, and Sandra Drive, completing the storm drain repairs near Craig Park, emergency demolition of the blighted White House on University Parkway that sat there for decades, and that was done through grant funding through Will County. Thank you, Executive. Resurfacing the driveway at Fire Station 1, completing repairs at Fire Station 2, as well as scheduling the demolition of the long vacant Hickok Pool this August, which will eliminate a dangerous and blighted property that was inherited by this administration. I also have to mention, because Will County Executive is here, we were able to repave Fire Station 1 through funding that she provided to us. So thank you for that. Looking ahead, Thornwood Mall Drive and Burnham Road are scheduled for resurfacing this September. Olmsted and Drawley are planned for repaving in late spring and early summer of 2027. New decorative lighting is being installed along the Cicero corridor from Richton Park south to University Parkway. Planning continues for transit-oriented development around our metro stations, including restoration of the University Park metro stations and expanded transportation options through PACE's Van Gogh pilot program. Our improved financial position has also allowed us to expand services directly benefiting our residents. We have introduced the water relief program, never done before, the snow removal program, the grass cutting program, and our youth summer employment program. Next month, we are excited to relaunch the popular 50-50 sidewalk replacement program. These investments demonstrate our commitment to improving the quality of life throughout University Park. Looking toward the future, development continues throughout our community. The former Media Center at 505 University Parkway, some of you know as the former Pizza Hut building, is expected to become the future home of the new Dunkin' Donuts. Following recent board approval and with the execution of the purchase agreement, site planning is currently underway, with construction anticipated to begin in spring of 2027. Most importantly, these accomplishments are not isolated successes. They are evidence of what is possible when strong leadership, sound fiscal management, dedicated employees, committed business partners, and engaged residents work together towards a common vision. University Park is moving forward, and our future has never been brighter. Today's town hall is designated to keep you informed and engaged as we continue to move the village forward. This morning's agenda will include road infrastructure improvements presented by Robinson Engineering, some of the ones that I've mentioned, the village's financial health, which will be presented by Chris Mirabali from John Kasperik's accounting team. I'll also provide some updates with the Zimmerman lawsuit and also an assistance workshop date coming up, as well as the village programs and community initiatives. We have flyers here, so please take that. They're for veterans, disabled, and seniors who we love and care about in this community. So if you can't benefit from any of these programs, we would love it if you would pass it along to your neighbors, because it takes a village. Together, we will continue building a village that is financially strong, economically vibrant, and a place every resident should be proud to call home. Before we begin, I would also like to recognize the incredible employees who make these accomplishments possible each and every day. To my village staff, thank you for your dedication, your professionalism, and commitment to serving our residents. It's not an easy job. It is truly an honor to work alongside you and to serve as your manager. Now, could I please have all the staff stand up that make this possible, please? Please join me in giving our staff a well-deserved round of applause. Thank you to everyone, all the employees. It's a 24/7 job. At this time, I would like to invite each department head to provide their updates in accordance with today's program, and we'll begin with our Police Chief Vincent Starks. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Good morning. Hope everyone can hear me okay. My name is Vince Starks. I've been the police chief here since March of 2026. I've met a lot of you. Some of you I'm just seeing for the first time. So a little background on me. I have over 30 years of law enforcement experience. I have worked in several different demographics. Meaning I've been a African-American police officer for a predominantly African-American department. I was the first African-American officer in the Tri-Town area in Indiana. And I was the only African-American officer in Homewood for several years, where I did over 20 years. Educational-wise, I have my Bachelor of Science in Law Enforcement Management. I have my Master's in Public Administration from Governor State. You know, I am a doctoral candidacy for my Business Administration. And I plan on going back in the spring to finish my doctorate. So I am a strong proponent for education. A strong proponent for education. When I got here in March, the previous chief, and I can never say anything bad because I've known him for 30 years. Over 30 years. You know, everyone's different. You know, you have some people, can anybody hear me okay? That's a little better. You have some people that ask, well, what are certain qualifications that make a good chief? There are more than academic qualifications. There are more than street or road knowledge. It's the person. It's the personality. It's the demeanor. It's how they interact with the community that they serve. You know, we do more to protect, we serve. We are your servants, you know. When at Homewood, I was an instructor of several disciplines. I ended up running the entire field training division. So having new recruits and having new officers there with fresh minds, I always told them several things. First and foremost, we are there to serve the public. They are not there to serve us, first and foremost. Make sure that your interaction is always positive, and it goes both ways. You know, just like we have to be positive, we need to get positive feedback also. Sometimes you may not agree with what people say, we get that, but to kind of piggyback on what Kim was saying, we're all adults. There's a method and a process to everything. We all know how that goes. So let's do everything respectfully. That's my key. You know, when I got here in March, there were several things going on. I kind of inherited a department that lost 1/4 of its officers several years ago. So, you know, you will always hear me say I am extremely proud of these guys because I have a staff of 15. For the entire town. They're running 12-hour shifts. Some are running 14, 15-hour shifts to help cover. So I am extremely proud of these guys. And being a police officer for 30 years, I can attest, it's not just them that are working for the village. It's their families. It's their kids. It's everything around them because they spend more time here than they do at home. So just kind of keep that in mind a little bit, you know, so they're putting in a lot of sacrifice. When I got here, there were a lot of things that were outdated. There were a lot of things that should have been corrected. I heard the phrase a lot, well, that's how it's always been. Well, my response was that's not how it is anymore. So since I've been here, I kind of broke things down in a monthly timeline because I've only been here since March. Since I've been here, I've repaired squad room computers for the reports that have been broken for extended periods of time. The garage door was broken where they were bringing prisoners in and out. That's a safety issue because for then, they would pull up with a prisoner. They would have to get out, leave that prisoner in the squad car, walk inside the station to open the door. That's a huge safety factor. I got that fixed. And these are things that have been long-standing. Why they were not repaired prior to my arrival, I have no say-so on that. All I can do is fix what I have now. Cleaning the station. The station was a little bit of a mess. I'm a little bit of a neat freak. Station was a mess. Cleaned it out. A lot of broken furniture was thrown out. Myself, along with the public safety manager, we found organizations and we donated 13 bikes, 2 scooters, 6 folding tables to charitable organizations. Just a side note, if you know anyone that has any type of tap dancing, I have a couple of cases. I think they're size 8, 8.5 tap dance shoes that I would like to give away. But I want to make sure they're used. I'm not one of those, if someone can use it, I'm not going to throw it out. I'd rather put it to use. Frontline FTO software was activated and populated. I'm a big proponent of training. So in the month of March, I had 2 officers attend evidence training and scene processing training. For the month of April, we did what's called the Critical Incident Notification System. Basically what that is something major happens in town, a fatal accident, a large fire, things of that nature. We can now send notifications out to all the trustees and to all the staff, informing them of what's going on in case we have to try to get some resources on the way, whether it's Will County or whether it's through the state, but we can, we have that going, which has not been done. One of the bathrooms in the prisoner processing room hadn't worked for a while. I got that repaired. The new workstations for the squad room, the previous ones are 20 years old. They were all broken. The guys were actually leaning forward on a broken station trying to type reports. That's unacceptable to me, I'm sorry. That's totally unacceptable. For the range officers, we have to be OSHA compliant. And what that means is when shooting down on the range, you have the direct vent access, but you also have the lead casings that technically you cannot sweep because you disturb the lead dust. So, I have a spent casing collector brought in and delivered, which, one, it keeps the lead levels down for the range officers, but it keeps us OSHA compliant. That month, I had officers attend juvenile training and accident reconstruction training. For the month of May, we had a speed trailer that sat in the garage bay, brand new, never ran. That's up and running. I'm going to put that probably on University Parkway by Governor State probably over the weekend. That's up and running, and I got that going. Prior to my getting here, when we have, I call them guests at the end. When we have people in custody, we're required by law to feed them. There was no prisoner meal established, so if you wanted to feed someone, basically officers had to come out their own pocket. So now I have an agreement with BP to Go, which is a local business in town, to provide prisoner meals for our prisoners. The building air conditioner was fixed. Those guys are working in there and it's 90 degrees in there. So I had to have that fixed. I assisted a family member of a University Park missing with getting their DNA entered into NamUs. NamUs is the National Missing and Unidentified Person System. So in case, God forbid, a deceased person is found unidentified, if the DNA matches, they can be informed, hey, we found your loved one, because the main thing for that is closure, to help them provide closure. We have an agreement now with the South Suburban Humane Society. So now when we're finding dogs, we have somewhere humanely to take them, which is huge. I ended up having a Calumet Plumbing come out. I had every single bathroom in the station serviced because there were several that didn't work. There were several that didn't flush correctly and everything. And we all know at home, if you have, it may sound weird, but if you have a toilet that's not flushing correctly, it affects your water bill. It affects your water bill. So I got all of that fixed. The door to the Sally port was repaired. It was not locking. That's a safety issue. Myself and the public safety director, we started the process for Lexipol policy implementation. What that is, all departments have policies and procedures that we have to abide by. They can save you. They can kind of hang you out to dry if you're doing wrong by them. And if you're doing wrong by them, I'm going to follow policy. But the important thing with that is they adhere to state law. They adhere to federal law. Most departments use them. And through Lexipol, the company, any changes in law, they automatically update the policies for us. They automatically inform the officers. The officers have to quiz and have to read and have to acknowledge that. So that way it keeps us in compliance with state and federal law. It keeps the officers in compliance with state and federal. It's all about accountability. Start the process for a deputy police chief assessment. Currently, I do not have one. I have 4 sergeants. I wanted an assessment because I wanted everything to be crystal clear and transparent. No village influence, no police influence. I don't want anyone to think that, this person was able to talk to this person. No. All of this goes to the Illinois Association of Chiefs of Police. All the applications, all the resumes, everything goes through them. They handle the entire process, and then they'll come present to us, these are your 3 or 4 candidates that we think are best suited for the job. This way, everyone is a fair slate. Everyone has a fair, equal chance. No one has any favoritisms. No one has any end. It's equal all the way around. I'm starting the process for my evidence room audit. I inherited a little bit of a mess from the evidence room. You know, too many people had access to the vault. There were things that should have been in there that were not in there. There are things that are in there that should not have been accounted for. So the company that's doing that are made up of several attorneys and state police guys, so they're going to come in and they're going to reorganize and categorize the entire evidence vault. They're going to let me know what's right and what's wrong and what's missing and what's there. So I'm looking forward to that. That gives me a baseline to work on what to work off of. And if anything needs to be done legally to anyone in the past because of certain things, then so be it. Because, like I said, accountability. We're all adults. We have to be accountable for what we do, even if you're out of this chair. Year to date, my 15 officers so far, they've handled over 4,500 calls. So they're on pace to answer between 9,000 to 10,000 calls a year. They've made 22 arrests. They've issued 883 tickets. Just a reminder. The PSA was out. If you know someone, please have them get their village sticker. Please. I'm asking you from an enforcement standpoint because July 1st, they will start enforcing that. So please do that. There were a couple of homes that had issues, and it was addressed to the proper channel, code enforcement. Code enforcement went over there and cited. There was a couple of business properties, code enforcement went over there and took care of that. The owners were notified by letter. They're going to start receiving fines. You know, there were some instances where people wanted the police to do that, but like I said, there's a process to everything. We have to do everything the correct way, otherwise it does not stand at all. And that's the correct way, having code enforcement go over there and start that process. So we've done that. Some of my major goals, first and foremost, increase manpower. We have 15 guys. 15 guys. So we are actively recruiting. Yes, we are actively recruiting. Once again, let's be respectful, because we're respectful of you. So let's all be respectful. So I definitely want to, and I appreciate you. I definitely want to increase manpower. I want to increase the diversity of the force. Right now, we have an all-male force. I want some female officers on the street. But we have an all-male force that have 15 to 20 years. I want some young guys on the street. So we are actively working on that. We are actively looking at recruiting options. We are actively looking at academy dates. And I am determined to get as many people in here as possible. I am currently researching grants. There are grants out there just for the sheer purpose of hiring more police officers. So we're going through that. My goal is to not only replace that 1/4 of the department, but to build beyond that. So that is my goal. I'm going to have more training for my staff. I had another officer just complete lead homicide investigator training. I want these guys to get as much training as they can because they went so many years without. And if they're better trained, they can better perform their job. So that's my goal on that. Getting them the equipment to do their job. So there's a lot of things that these guys don't have. And a lot of it takes grant money, which is I'm looking for, but we just got a couple of new cars brought in. We have a couple of squads that are 6 years old. If anyone is familiar, a 6-year-old squad car is a money pit because some of these cars are ran 24 hours a day, multiple days a week. And if we're having to put these cars in the shop and every time we come, that repair bill is $3,000, it's time for it to go. So I'm swapping out all those cars. There's a lot of old cars that have been sitting in the lot for 8, 9, 10 years. I'm getting rid of those. I'm cleaning the entire place up inside and out. Like I said, my main goal, manpower, secure grant funding, give them the equipment to do the job. You know, there are other departments, for example, you know, I refer to Homewood because I did over 20 years there. They have what's called a WUPC. It's been on around. That's when one guy sits at a certain location with a radar gun, and he signals all the other cars, this guy's doing 40 over, this guy's doing 50 over. Highly successful. We can't do that. We don't have any handheld radars. That's where I try to find the grant funding. That's getting them the equipment to properly do their job. So if they can't have the equipment, they can't perform their work. So my goal is give them the tools to do their job, give them the knowledge to do their job correctly, and let them know that there are consequences with everything, either positive or negative. I'm always thanking these guys. These guys did a great job. They caught some people trying to steal some stuff at the golf course, which is great, and which isn't the first time they were there. Caught them in the act. Those guys ended up having multiple warrants. One guy had methamphetamines on him. They got felony charges approved through Will County, by helping Will County. There was a shooting incident where the 3 so far have been charged with Class X felonies. Anybody know what a Class X felony is? Once convicted, you do a mandatory 6 years right off the bat. So these guys are working hard, and I'm proud of these guys. If you see them, give them a wave. Give them a wave. Give them a hello, because they not only have they been doing this, they've been doing this for a while. So I want to give them a hand. I want to give them, thank you. Yes, because they definitely deserve it. They deserve it. I'm going to give them a hand. You may see me. I was on a call yesterday. Just because I'm in the chair don't mean I'm not afraid to jump in the car and jump on a call. So you may see me pop up somewhere. It doesn't mean that someone's in trouble. It just means I'm there to help also. Because first and foremost, I'm a cop like everybody else, and I'll never forget that. So that is my report. If anyone has any questions, I'm sure I'll answer them all later. I'll be around. If you see me on the street, pull me over, talk to me. I'm a talkable person, especially if you got coffee. Be safe. Thank you.
Okay. Let's give our chief another round of applause. Truly, just being around the village, he has not come, some people were called and some just came. He's come to really serve and protect with his team of officers. I definitely feel safe riding through and about in University Park. Next, we got to be protected by this guy too, and I'm going to call him Chief S, and maybe I'll try today to say Stenega. Is that right? Steganga, is that right? Oh man, I'm gonna get it. I'm gonna get it this year. Welcome our fire chief. You gotta teach me how to say it.
Good morning, residents of University Park. It's actually pronounced Steganga, if anybody really wanted to know, but I answer to just about anything. Steganga. Very honored to be here. I've been a village employee for the last 17 years. I started off as a firefighter paramedic. I was a lieutenant, and then I've been promoted to the fire chief position. The fire department is very grateful for this administration. We've had some newer equipment come in. We haven't had newer equipment come in many, many years. We have a new ambulance that should be arriving in August of this year, which our current ambulances are from 2009, and we have one from 2021. Ambulances only last about 7 to 10 years. So we are very fortunate that we have this ambulance coming in. We thank the village board and the mayor for getting this new ambulance coming. This is truthfully going to be serving you guys better. This past board meeting, the village was so kind to lease our brand new monitors and AEDs. Our current monitors that we have are old. They're from 2009. Those also last about 7 to 10 years, so we're on borrowed time. So we thank everybody for getting this new equipment. This truly serves you guys better. With that being said, we are trying to be more physically responsible. We have partnered with IHI Power in the industrial park, and throughout the last year and a half, they have donated $37,914 for portable radios. These radios will help us communicate with our dispatch center. We went to a digital system, and our old radios did not meet that. So we're very thankful with the industrial park adding these radios to our fleet. With that, the village did also partner and get us all brand new mobile radios to help communicate with the dispatch center. We have added CAD, our computer-aided dispatching tablets in every single one of our vehicles so we can see live feed of what the dispatchers and call takers are getting from the residents, so we know what's going on before we get there. We've never had that technology, and now to have this technology is a huge game changer for us. The village also updated our alerting system to a new alerting system called USDD. With USDD, it's all internet-based. So as soon as the call starts coming in and they start CADing it out, it starts notifying us. So this helps us get out the door faster to serve you guys. So we're very, very happy with getting this new system. We thank Manager Scott for getting the grant for the driveway at Fire Station 1. That driveway has never been done in the 17 years that I've been here. We had a lot of areas in that driveway that were starting to collapse, so we're very thankful for that. Manager Scott also worked with us. We haven't had a backup generator in over 10 years, and Manager Scott got us an emergency generator, so when the power does go out, we can still respond to you guys. We are still currently working with the Police and Fire Commission to recruit new firefighter paramedics. We're currently at 13 firefighter paramedics, and we're running right now 1,100 calls so far this year. It's been very, very busy. And a majority of our guys have been on the department for over 10 years. So we're very, very fortunate that they show up every single day, and they're helping everybody. Throughout 2025 and starting this year, we plan on hosting more CPR classes to get more residents certified in CPR. We believe that early CPR is better, so we plan on doing that. We've also teamed up with the American Red Cross. We're putting smoke detectors for free in residents' homes. There's a little QR code on the village website. And also there are some flyers back there. As soon as you register, we will call you and we will get in touch with you to sit there and find out how many detectors you need. Currently, right now, we have been in 19 homes and we've installed 65 smoke detectors. We want to get to 100 by July. We've also written a grant from the Illinois State Fire Marshal's Office, and we were awarded this year $25,897 for new battery-operated saws and personal thermal imaging cameras to keep us safe. The village did buy us new vehicle-mounted ones that help us search, so we're very thankful on that. Our old thermal imaging cameras were 16 years old. We've also filed for federal grants, a total of $870,000. We're waiting on hearing if we can get that. We're very hopeful. It would add additional radios, brand new hoses, nozzles, and appliances for us. We haven't had newer hoses and appliances and everything in about 16 years, and they only last so long. They're starting to wear out. For the first time ever in September, September 12th, matter of fact, we will be hosting a open house. It'll be the first time that the fire department's ever done it since I've been here. We're very thankful for Dot Foods. They are helping fund it. They've already donated some money. We're going to be reaching out to more of the industrial park to sit there and see if we can get more donations to help fund that so it doesn't cost the taxpayers any money. With that being said, we thank you guys again for letting us serve you guys. The fire department enjoys being part of the community. We like coming to events. And if you ever do see the doors open, please stop by. They don't mind. You're more than welcome to come in. They'll show you around. They'll show you our equipment. They'll talk with you. We enjoy being with the public.
Thank you. Thank our fire chief again and the entire fire department. He didn't take credit, but they don't just serve us. Sometimes they're needed in other locations, and recently they were over in the large fires that were in our neighboring town in Crete. with some of our neighbors, and we want to thank you guys for your efforts in that endeavor. Yes, saving lives. Next, we're going to have Public Works, the Director of Public Safety, Mr. Patrick Seamson. Did I say that right?
Good afternoon, community. I'm glad everyone could come out. I'm glad I didn't get any booze yet. I want to thank the elected officials up here and Village Manager Scott and everybody else for all the support that they've given us and for hosting this event. A little bit about me, if you don't know. I've been in law enforcement for over 30 years, served as the chief of police in 3 different communities, been a police in 5 different counties, and an elected official. I was also fortunate enough to go to Governor State University, got my bachelor's and my master's degree there. Chief Starks and I also were criminal justice instructors there, so that's a nice tie to the community. And I am very proud to say this, that I just recently received my doctorate degree. Very happy with that. So my goal as public safety director when I was hired was to identify gaps, deficiencies, strengths, weaknesses, and try to identify ways that we can grow as an organization, both operationally and leadership. And I think I did that. And the ultimate goal of that was what? It was to enhance public safety and the delivery of our services to the community. So one of the first things that I was tasked with by Village Manager Scott was identifying the chief of police. I think I did a great job in finding Vince Starks. Absolutely. You saw him up here. He is all in for your community, let me tell you that. He is doing a fantastic job, and Vince, I thank you, and he's going to continue to do a great job for you guys. Vince is also going to be going to Northwestern University. Vince spoke about leadership and how do we advance our personnel training. So besides engaging with the community, one of our big things is training, like Vince stated. So he's going to be going to Northwestern University School Staff and Command. So that's coming up for him, so that's good. My job for him is to help mentor him as the chief of police. I don't know how long I'm going to be here, what the future holds for me here with University Park. I really enjoy the position, but I want to make sure that when I leave here, it's better than when I got here. And my goal with that is to make sure that the department heads have what they need. I believe that this administration, which is the motto of my administration, it's a Latin phrase, acta, not verba, and what that means is, if you don't know, is action, not talk. Do it. Don't talk about it, do it. And that's kind of the motto that we're following over here. Vince spoke about a couple things, identifying policies. How can we as a police department not have up-to-date policies? That was one of the main things that we came out with. We identified that pretty quickly, so Vince and I are working on that. We're hoping to be done with that by November. Identified the need for advanced emergency response plans, our evidence audit, working on some special projects with Village Manager Scott. We conducted, how do we come about that? Well, evidence-based, models we utilized. We did an assessment of all operational policies, practices, and procedures to give us that data so that we can do this. We just didn't come in here and say this. Some things were pretty glaring. Other things we're still refining and getting through to get to the actual raw data so we can move forward and be strategic in our approach. Recruitment is big for us. Police work right now, the salaries are ridiculous. They're ridiculous, and what happens often is police departments hire somebody else steals them. University Park is doing a good job. We just have to get out there, and we are really, like Vince said, we're looking for females. We need female officers. My wife is a female police officer. I just hired 3 female police officers where I work. We need females. They're 50%, right? So we need that. We also would like to give back to our community and hire people from the community. So we're really trying to identify those people and get them interested. It's not an easy job. If you know somebody, maybe they'd be interested. We've reached out, Vince talked about, or I think the mayor talked about partnerships. We've reached out with Governor State. We've reached out to Prairie State College, Kankakee, some other local educational institutions to try to identify these people, as well as see if we have somebody inside. We want to get those people to come in and learn about law enforcement, see if they're interested. One of the ways we can do that is have them come in, meet with the chief, meet with me, or do a ride-along. I've had people that swore they wanted a career in criminal justice. They come and do a ride-along, and they realize it's not for them. I've also had other people that had no interest in criminal justice. They knew somebody, they had to do a project for school. They come in and they realized it's for them. So that is a very important tool and a resource for us, or anybody in the community that's just interested in learning a little bit about more law enforcement. Me and Vince have talked about doing a Citizens Police Academy. We've also, if that was successful, we'd also expand it and do one for younger kids. And that would maybe identify driving, like something like maybe this teen takeover stuff that's going on, e-bikes, and then also for seniors. So we really want to advance our engagement opportunities and resources to the community. So if anyone's interested in that, you can get a hold of the chief or I, and we can see if we can have somebody come in and learn more about that. Again, advancing partnerships and engagement. We're really trying to do that both internally and externally. We're trying to identify areas where we could possibly get some financial assistance, but also ways that we could really make additional contacts and engage our community members. So that's really all I have. I'm glad to be here, and I appreciate all your support along with our elected official. Thank you.
Thank you. All right, okay. Last but not least, we also, well, it's two more besides. We have our Public Works Director, Mr. Antoine Russell. There he is. Let's give him a round of applause.
Good afternoon, everyone. Good afternoon, everyone. Man, if you can hear the sound of my voice, clap once. If you can hear the sound of my voice, clap twice. If you can hear the sound of my voice, clap 3 times. Man, y'all gotta wake up. It's a tough crowd in UP. Okay, good morning, Mayor Rudez, Sister Scott, Manager Scott, members of our esteemed board, my fellow department heads, and most importantly, you, the residents of University Park. I want to begin first by saying, before I say anything else, I always want to acknowledge the one person that's the most important in my life. And I want to start with a little scripture. I try to live each day by the words of Proverbs 16:3. Commit to the Lord whatever you do, and he will establish your plans. I give all honor and glory to God, because without him, none of us would be here today. When I first arrived 87 days ago, to the village of University Park, I did not know where Drolly was. But on day 2, I found out where the sinkhole was on Drolly. Amen. But anyway, like I said, when I first arrived, from the beginning, this community has welcomed me with open arms. I want to give a special thank you to Ms. Marva, Ms. Kim, Ms. Community, Ms. Neighbor, for always giving me and blessing me with their grace, Ms. Lewis, for always blessing me with their grace, their dignity, their pride, their integrity. These women are an exemplification of what University Park is, and I am so blessed as a new leader and a new Public Works Director to have them as my teachers and my understandings of University Park. So please give these 4 women a round of applause. And for that, like I said, I just simply want to say thank you to you all. I also want to take the opportunity to further introduce myself and share the department that services this community. Public Works is one of those departments people do not know and always think about when something happens. When your street flood, yep, when a pothole appears and is wide enough to start a new zip code, yep. When a tree comes down, when the snow covers the road, and when storm rolls through, that is when my team and your team goes to work. I am proud to say that our Public Works team answers those calls each and every day with professionalism, dedication, and pride. Today, I would like to recognize the people, your people, residents, who make that possible. The people that you know by first name that I just met, and the people that have been serving you. I have a team that's been here for over 2 decades, and some as new as 1 year, and even me as new as 87 days. But I do want to recognize the first voice you hear when you call the Public Works Department. You may not know her name, but I'm going to say it for you, and I hope she's watching. That would be Miss Ebony Robinson, my administrative assistant. Mr. Juan, most of you know Juan, long-term serving employee of the village. Yes. Mr. Don Brown, our foreman, who is currently injured and out, but we still want to recognize him as well. A resident, a homegrown resident, Mr. Jerry Hunt. Mr. Martin Gonzalez, another homegrown resident, first job was here at University Park, Mr. Keith Wilson. Another resident at University Park, Mr. Sam Jenkins. Mr. Danny Earl, the fabulous Miss Lisa Quinn, our new people, Mr. Derek Dean, and Mr. Gregory Bridgewater. Please give them a round of hands as well. These men and women are the heartbeat of your department. And I always say this, University Park, it is your department. Residents, we work for you. They work in the heat of the summer, the freezing cold, the rain, the snow, and everything in between. They do not get recognized all the time. They do it because they care about serving the community. I hope you will join me again in giving them a true round of applause, because I am blessed to have such a great team. I also have to take a minute and a second to thank our residents. I want to thank the ones who call me, the ones who email me, the ones who stop me at the Family Dollar, and the ones who flag me down in the parking lot, and the ones that take the time just to introduce themselves while I'm walking through the neighborhood. And then a special thanks to Miss Millie, yep, to Miss Shanice Williams, to the fabulous Miss Jasmine in the back, to, of course, Miss Deborah, my library board trustee sitting in the back, who always greets me with the biggest smile and grin every time I greet her. And of course, our Thornwood residents, and to many other residents that I have the privilege of meeting, I want to say thank you again. Thank you for your ideas, your concerns, and for caring enough to speak up, to help make me a better director, and to help move University Park in a better direction. I also want to thank the mayor and every member of this esteemed board. Good question. Since I've been here, each and every one of you, from Trustee Brooks, Trustee Jewell, Trustee Felcher, of course, Mayor Rudez, Trustee Bill, of course, Trustee Williams, and Trustee Lewis, they have all contacted me directly. They have all contacted my staff directly. And of course, constructive criticism is never a negative. It is always just to make me better and to make our department better. So I do want to thank these distinct individuals for what you do. I do not take anything personally. I only take it to better me and myself. Since I've been here, like I said, each and every one of you have always reached out to me and my team. I appreciate your support, your communication, and your partnership. As we work together, again, to serve our residents, and to certainly, I cannot certainly forget, I am a dad. I'm a dad of a college student in her last year at Howard University. So she always makes fun of my dad jokes. So I got a couple dad jokes. I cannot go without thanking our, what's the name of that website? Our next door AI detectives. I gotta thank our next door AI detectives. And now again, I don't take anything personally. I am an elected official as well in one of the largest townships in the state. I'm also the president of one of the largest democratic organizations in the state. So I understand how social media works. I understand AI, Copilot, ChatGPT, those who use it incorrectly and correctly. But I have to also thank our AI detectives from next door, because without you posting your pictures 3 seconds after my staff has left, dropping GPS coordinations, starting neighborhood discussions and grandstanding, it would not make us better. I take those posts and those comments and I tell my team we use those to make us better. Your observation makes us better. Yes, I wish you would call me, call Neva, call the village manager beforehand and give us a chance to rectify it. But even if you go on next door, Miss Williams is gonna call me immediately. Trustee Bill is gonna call me immediately. The mayor is gonna be at my door saying, get on top of this comment now. I don't know if he do the fire chief and police chief like that, but Mayor Rue, don't play with my, okay, I won't go there, Miss Millie, I won't go there. I will not tell what the mayor say to me, but okay. I say all this with a smile because it's true. Your involvement helps me and it helps us. When residents care enough to report problems, we become a better department and a better community. So thank you for keeping us on our toes. When I accepted this position, I made a promise to myself. I was not going to lead the department from behind the desk. I'm gonna say it again, Ms. Millie. I was not going to lead my department from behind the desk and the computer. I was going to lead out in the community. That is why I spend time knocking on doors daily. I did not tell my boss this until now, but I make it a promise to myself to knock on 5 to 10 doors a day, just to ask of a concern, to ask of a need, and to introduce myself as a public works director. Yes. I know, right? What street is it? I'm always listening. But I make it a thing myself to knock on doors, to walk the community and talk with residents and listen. Listening requires not just hearing, but listening. The Lord blessed us with 2 ears. He blessed me with 2 ears and 2 eyes. So I should listen and observe twice as much as I speak. Good leadership is not measured by how much time you spend in the office. It is measured by the relationships you build and the trust that I earn. As we look ahead, Public Works remains focused on improving, of course, infrastructure that every family depends on. We will continue pursuing grants to help pay for roadways, of course, stormwater projects, drain systems, and other long-term infrastructure needs. We also continue working closely with our newly appointed Park District Board of Commissioners. As we help to restore and improve our parks, Because when we invest in parks, we are investing in our children, and our children are our future. Yes, University Park, think yourselves, you brought that about. This is your park district, and I'm just a director that's going to help them succeed. Yes. Also, like communities across America, like local governments, are facing challenges, of course, recruiting and retaining skilled employees. This is why myself, and my esteemed village manager have taken upon ourselves to start building partnerships with Prairie State College, South Suburban College, and Olive Harvey College through their workforce development and through their CDL programs. Because we do want to recruit CDL drivers and CDL license holders to come work for University Park. These partnerships will help us develop the new and next generation of public servants while creating new opportunities for talented employees. We are excited at Public Works about being active members with the American Public Works Association. That will give our staff access to nationally recognized training, professional certifications, leadership development, and best practices for public works professionals across this country. Just as importantly, as it gives us the opportunity to showcase the great work happening right here in University Park while bringing home new ideas that can help benefit our residents. One thing I do want to highlight, upon me first joining this esteemed body and working for my sister, the great Elizabeth Scott, she brought it to my attention that the new plows that we just got are the first new snow plow that the village has had in almost 3 decades. Yes, clap for that, please. Yes. And University Park, here's some more insiders. She said, if anything happens to any one of those plows, just put in your resignation. I said, okay, Ms. Scott. One of them will never move unless without your direction. So we are proud. We did give them shop names, and I think I said it in one meeting, Ms. Neva. We did give them shop names. We named them Carly B and Free Bands. So they do have shop names only. But we do have, and I am so proud, and you should be proud to have these new snow plows added to our fleet. Yes. So while bringing new ideas, new equipment, and new fleet, and all this excitement, at the end of the day, Public Works is about more than just fixing roads and maintaining infrastructure. It is about serving you, the people. I am a public servant. We all are public servants. We all work for you. Your executive residents represent you, and they represent you to us. And regardless of whatever we see, every one of them care about the community to some degree. And every one of them I don't know how much they use you all's phones, but they all text, email, and call the Public Works Director. And I'm so thankful for that. I'm so thankful for that. So, I'm sorry. So to that end, as I stated, it's about more than just serving people. It's about improving our neighborhoods. It is also about making sure families are safe, clean, neighborhoods are clean, and reliable infrastructure. With reliable infrastructure, and our community is a place we can call home and that we all proud of. University Park has so much potential. 87 days ago, the only time I ever came to University Park was to visit the college. And since then, I have learned so much about every street, every cornfield, every cornfield that I've never seen before until I came to University Park. I've learned so much about every storm drain and aqua since I came to University Park. I am so grateful that Manager Scott and this esteemed body and the mayor given me the opportunity as a young man to expand my resume and expand my knowledge as a leader. Our future here is very bright. Our residents, you care deeply. Our employees work hard every day, and together I believe our very best days are still ahead. As your Public Works Director, I promise to continue to lead with integrity, honesty, transparency, accountability, and compassion for service. I want to personally thank Mayor Rudez, the Village Board, Manager Scott, and my incredible staff, and every single resident who places their trust in us. I will close with a final scripture. A final scripture, yep, I gotta give it to you. Let us not become weary. Let me say it again, Let us not become weary in doing good, for at a proper time, we will reap a harvest if we do not give up. If we continue working together, serving one another, and believing what is possible, I have no doubt that the University Park and the village will continue to grow. May God bless you all, and may God continue to bless the village of University Park.
Preach, preacher. Okay, so we have some visitors here, and we're taking a brief moment for a PSA. These young people have something to tell you, but I want to introduce them. When you hear your name, go out in front and curtsy so they know who you are. We have Nova. Where's Nova? There's Nova. We have DJ. Where's DJ? And we have Zaria. And Miss, come on, Callie, don't let them steal. All right, and Callie. And what do you guys have to say? We are what? The future of University Park. This is who they are, all right? Take your bow, take your bow. Your curtsy, curtsy. Curtsy, curtsy. Curtsy, curtsy. Wait, they want to take your picture. They want to take your picture. You guys. Thank you, guys. Let's give them another round of applause. So, they're back there listening, they're paying attention, and you should have heard Zaria. She said, University Park, University Park. And it's so wonderful to have children in this building today because, again, everything we're doing is for their future. We sit here now, but the decisions that we're making and that will be made are for those young people. So sometimes we sit stoically in our own position, you know, and we don't think about what this is really about. The water, the public works, safety in the village. Your kids should be able to come back to University Park and work and play and those sorts of things. So I just wanted those guys to let us keep in mind what we're really here for, all right? The next esteemed colleague of mine, who I love dearly, is Miss Naiva Jenkins. She is our communications director. My God, and does she do a good job? Come on, Neva. That's right.
Oh, gosh. Okay, good morning. My name is Naiva Jenkins. Good morning, Mayor, Board, trustees, co-workers. My name is Naiva Jenkins. I am the Village Communication and Community Engagement Director for the Village of University Park. You know, everyone was mentioning it, but this is my 16th year with the Village. Thank you. As Director of Communications, my focus continues to be ensuring transparency, strengthening community engagement, and keeping residents informed through strategic communications, digital outreach, public information campaigns, and event promotion. I support all departments within the village. Over the past month, the Communications Department has maintained a strong presence across the village communication platforms, generating in the last 30 days 196,800 social media views, and this increased visibility has helped us expand awareness of village programs, public safety initiatives, community events, and valuable resident resources. The Communications Department developed and distributed multiple public information campaigns, including aqua water settlement notifications, website banners, social media graphics, and public service announcements to ensure that residents receive timely and accurate information regarding the settlement process. The department created and promoted town hall meeting information, MOLS distribution, promotional materials, and completed and distributed the village newsletter, Summer Edition, providing residents with updates on village programs, services, infrastructure projects, and upcoming events. This addition to event promotion, the department supported public safety outreach by distributing information regarding the University Park Police Department partnership with the Will County Emergency Telephone System and the Smart 911 program. If you're not aware of that program, you can pick up those materials at the table. This initiative encourages residents to register for emergency notifications and provides first responders with critical information during emergencies. Beyond event promotion, the Communications Department continues to manage and maintain the village website, community notifications, public service announcements, newsletters, media relations, and content for WUPC-TV Channel 4. WUPC-TV has long served as an important communication tool for the sharing information for local meetings, community events, and village information. And after being off the air for more than a decade, the station was relaunched in 2017, but due to technical and environmental challenges, broadcasting was discontinued following the COVID-19 pandemic in 2021. During that time, the village continued to keep residents informed, but now, after several years, the WUPC-TV has been relocated to Village Hall and once again broadcasting on Channel 4 for Comcast customers and restoring a valuable program local resource for residents. Residents can now access local information. Thank you. Now access local information and programming for Comcast customers on Channel 4, or you can log on to our website at www.university-park-il.com and click on Village Communications, and as well as on the University Park mobile app. I would like to thank the Mayor and Board of Trustees and the push from Manager Scott to revitalize the cable station and authorizing the equipment purchase. I would also like to say thank you to our community partners, Sound Barrier and Stay Focused Media, for providing our video streaming and sound production and helping us deliver these important messages to our community. Wrapping up, looking ahead, one of the department's my departmental goals is to continue to strengthen communication by expanding our reach so that every resident receives timely information, especially during severe weather, emerging initiatives, and community events where families come together. Clear, consistent communication ensures that no one is left out. So here's the question. Are you connected with us? Have you signed up for email alerts? Do you follow us on Facebook and other social media platforms? Do you check the village digital signs and banners? Do you tune into our YouTube channel or watch board meetings and get our community updates? If your answer is yes, I encourage you to help us to extend our reach by sharing this village news with your friends, families, and neighbors. If your answer is no, I invite you today to sign up with me and get connected so you can stay informed, engaged, and involved in our community. Together, we can build a more informed and connected village. When communication flows freely, our residents are safer, more engaged, and better prepared for whatever comes next. Staying connected is not just about receiving information, it's about building relationships, supporting one another, and ensuring that every resident has access to the same information so they will be informed, involved, and empowered. Thank you.
Preach, Neva. She did a great job. Let's give her a round of applause. And truthfully speaking, you know, for those of you, and I'm so, again, thankful for many of you, the friendly faces that I've seen that have been to Village Hall this week. Truly, that place also, Village Hall, the lobby has a wealth, a plethora of information. There's a resource area that has everything that's going on in the village and beyond. So we especially village related items. So definitely stay connected, stay connected. I would be remiss, and I will not be remiss, if I didn't invite Ms. Khushbu Patel. Come on, Khushbu. Okay, this is a village where we don't leave anyone behind. All right, so Khushbu, let me introduce you to her, is the Mayor and the Board of Trustees Executive Liaison. She is also another opportunity and way for you to get in touch with your elected officials. All you have to do is call her number. What's your number?
708-879-2063.
All right, so if you need to get a hold of the folks you elect, this is the way to do it, and they also have their own phones, but she'll get right to it. She is a wealth of knowledge, so we want you to continue to reach out to the Mayor and the Board of Trustees. They are your elected officials. Thank you, Khushbu. All right. So again, we are going ahead to the finance report. So we want you alert and ready. I want to just say to you, there were cards passed out, postcards that were passed out a little earlier. I would just like for you to continue through this process to get your questions and your comments prepared for us to go through those a little bit later. And it was one other thing that I was trying to remember. Oh, you know, when we talk about this meeting being convened, this is not your only opportunity to come and hear the deliberation and the legislative process that takes place with your Board of Trustees and your Mayor. So second and fourth Tuesdays of every month, you get to come and sit right here in the same place and hear them make decisions that will affect you. So we encourage you again to come out, not just today, but any of those second and fourth Tuesdays. And as Ms. Jenkins mentioned, you certainly can watch it on any number of our social media websites, okay? So without further ado, we're gonna start passing out the financial report to each of you, so you'll have your own copy. So one moment, please prepare.
There are copies of all of the PowerPoint slide presentation on the back table. Oh, you put them out? Okay.
on this table? Were those on this table that they got? Somebody took them from She just gave it to me. Let me donate some, 'cause I don't want to promise them. Let me.
External financial consulting.
Okay.
Or just
Tessie.
Some of the trustees, some of them gotta go.
Okay. All right, we're going to get started. Let me introduce to you, to some. Thank you, guys. We want to move quickly so that we can get you back to your homes on a comfortable Saturday. So let me please, without further ado, introduce our external financial consultant who's keeping us out of the red, helping to keep us out of the red, Mr. Chris Marabali.
okay.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, this is the part that you want to hear. The state and the health of your town. It's enclosed in this packet, so we need everyone's attention. Everyone's attention. Even if you're moving about, if you could please, please give Mr. Marabali your attention. If we have outside conversations, if you need to, you can go outside, but we need everyone's attention, please. Did you get a financial, did you get one? Did you get, okay, put it under that plate.
Oh, thank you so much. How come you didn't introduce
Who?
the secretary?
Who's that? Secretary who?
Her, is that the Scott secretary?
She didn't tell me to, but I will.
Okay, good morning, everyone. My name is Chris Marabali. I'm with John Casper Company. I've been with the firm for about 12 years now. Good morning to all. Welcome. And now I'm going to go over the state of the village's finances. Okay, so I'm going to break this down into a handful of sections. Is that better? So it breaks down into, I'm going to go on a horizontal outlook of where the village stands, and then where we're going to see in the future as to the various actions the village has taken so far to improve their operations. Okay, so historically, here is a breakdown of the village's revenue over the last 6 years. What you can notice is the majority of the village's revenues stem from property taxes. But what you can see is in 21, the village was having a little over $32 million in property taxes. That's where the most of the village was operating off of was property tax revenue. Now we are working off of about $12 million, but we're almost at a similar level from a revenue standpoint as where we were in 21. So the village has transferred some of its operational funding from being reliant solely on property taxes to now we're being reliant on other revenue streams. We've had a very nice increase in our sales tax base. Another nice area of increase for the village is in our interest income, this green one here. We went from having nothing in prior years to now in 25 and 26, we've had a very nice increase in what we're making on interest income. That is because of the actions of the village and the board and the village manager of, instead of us leaving our funding, all of our excess cash in our bank account, we are moving it into Illinois funds so that we can get between 4 and 5% interest on the cash balances, which is resulting in, on average, we've made in fiscal year 25 about $250,000, and in fiscal year 26 about $150,000. And the reason for that decrease between the two fiscal years is because the state decreased their interest rate from the 4.5%, 5% they were paying to now they're paying about 3.5%, 4.5%. Yo, why is it not working right? 1 sec. Yes, please. Okay, there we go. So this is a breakdown of the village's revenue streams by its fund. Because you are a government entity, we have what's called fund accounting. Fund accounting is a good way, it's just separate parts of the village broken down. So your general fund is your main fund of the village where all of the activity runs through for the most part. You can notice how in 25, the majority, we had half of our revenue generated in our general fund. And then the other half in our special revenue fund, which relates to capital projects and TIF for the most part, your tax increment financing districts. In 26, 81% of your revenue stream is in your general fund, whereas where you pay the majority of your expenses. That's where you pay your police, your fire, your public works. That's where all those salary and benefits are paid out of. And that is where the majority of your revenue is generated in your general fund. 1 second. I want to point out one other item. In 25, you had 1% of your revenue stream was your golf course and town center funding. In 26, that's raised to 3%. Next one. This is your general fund revenue broken down by the major asset class, the major revenue classes. What I want to point out is, here is your guys' property taxes. The ones in red, that is the 26 revenue streams. What you can see is the property taxes that fund general operations, this section right here, is less than what we as a village gets in sales and use tax revenues. So what the village receives in sales tax revenues is more than the money that the village receives in general property taxes. Now, we do have this section here that's for property taxes, but that's to fund your police and fire pension retirement. The village spent almost $3 million last year for this police and fire pension to fund those pension obligations. This section here, there's no prior year because before fiscal year 26, the village was not allocating money for infrastructure improvement. Now we are allocating on average about $2 million a year to invest in the infrastructure of the village. This graph is to break down how your guys' property taxes are collected, where it is. What I want to point out is in the last fiscal year 25 to 23, the yellow, that was all of your guys' TIF districts. That was where your property taxes related to your tax increment financing districts. In 26, that revenue number has gone very low comparatively, with an increase in overall general property taxes the village receives. The reason for that is because in fiscal year 26 was the first year where the village was collecting real estate taxes due to the closure of TIF 5. With that closure, all of those tax dollars that those properties in TIF 5 were paying, now is instead of it all coming to the village for economic incentive to those developers, now that is being spread across all of the taxing bodies within the boundaries of University Park that you guys see on your tax bills. So now those tax dollars are not just being used for the developers, now they're being used by your schools, by the county, by the libraries. All of those taxing bodies are now getting part of those property taxes. Sure. Can you go back 2 slides for a sec? It should just be the back arrow. So the yellow is what your guys' tax increment financing districts was generating as property tax revenue. When the village closed the TIF, because it had reached a statutory cap as to the number of years it could stay open, all that equalized assessed valuation got added to everyone's in the taxing districts' tax rolls. So now when the school districts, the library districts, all of those taxing bodies, now they have all of that money to have the availability to tax on. So now all of those, so the $11 million, $12 million that those taxing districts, those properties were paying, instead of it all going for economic development that's being sent to the village and then the village using it for development, now it goes to all of the taxing bodies based on their percentages of the tax bill. Okay, so this is the breakdown of the village's expenses over the last 6 years. What you can notice is our expenses have been increasing with the exception of 21, but as you can see, our portion of where our expenses are growing, the most of the village's expenses is in public safety. That's police and fire. So you can see that the majority of where the village spends its money is public safety. Now this little one here, this is the general operations. It's not specifically related to public safety, but this is where we pay for the general liability coverage, workers' compensation, health insurance. That's this section, which covers that. And then we have these smaller ones like public works is here, and then economic development is the yellow. Yeah. Sure. So debt service, the village has various leases for like their vehicles, the golf carts, that's debt service. Because when the village enters into a lease agreement, it has an obligation to pay principal and interest. A good way to think about that is think about it like your mortgage. That is what debt service is. Capital outlay, those are like when the fire chief was talking about the ambulance that the village just recently bought, that's capital outlay. Economic development, that is the activities that we purchase in our capital projects fund and all of our TIFs, all of our tax increment financing district. That's what those are. Does that help? Yep, please. Now, this is a similar breakdown like we had for the revenues, but this is on the expenditures, where we can see that the majority of where the village spends its expenditures is in its general fund. The other big area that it spends its expenses on is capital projects. Yep, next slide, please. Now, this is a breakdown of the last 4 years of expenses based on 5 major departments. So we have your general operations, which that is general liability coverage, workers' comp, retiree insurance. Then we have your police department, your fire department, public works, and then all of the other departments combined. So that would be like IT, finance, village manager, mayor and board, all of those departments. What you can notice is the majority of where the village spends its money is in public safety between police and fire. Last year for police, we spent a little less than $4 million. This year we're about $4.7 million. For fire department, last year, fiscal year 25, we spent a little less than $5 million. This year, we're at $6 million. Now, the reason for the increase in fire of about $1 million, partly of that is salary, but the other reason for that increase is one of the programs the village got entered into 2-3 years ago was a program called GMT. What that does is we get a portion of Medicare and Medicaid taxes for ambulance calls. We, as the village, have to pay a portion of that back every year. So in that number is the payments that we had this fiscal year. The other reason that one increased so much is, as the chief was talking about, the new generators. That was about a $70,000, $80,000 cost. Now, this is a breakdown of the police department's expenses based on categories. So the one in orange, that is salaries. What you can see is the majority of what we spend our money on is salaries. Then it's the yellow is overtime. What I do want to point out is overtime for the PD, we went from $444,000 in 25 to $444,000 in 25 to $425,000 in 26. So we had about a $20,000 decrease in overtime based on the hiring the village has done. The pinkish one, that is our pension contributions. We can see that between fiscal year 24 through 26, we were contributing $680,000 in 24. We contributed last year $1.3 million. And then the red is everything else that is in the PD department. So if we take all of the colors, the most of what the village pays for police is in the officers on the streets, the benefits, salary and benefits of the officers on the streets. Next slide, please.
Chris, I have a question.
Yeah.
You said DMT and you mentioned, and you said something has to be paid back. Who are we paying that back to?
You're paying that money back to the state. So as a simple example, we get $1 million from GMT. We are obligated to pay $500,000 of that back to the state. We usually get those in quarterly invoices. The most recent one you guys just received, I think I got it Friday, was about $70,000.
So is that the norm for most municipalities?
Yeah, most municipalities, it's depending on how much Medicare and Medicaid tax they get, revenue they get, is how much they're paying. So the more ambulance calls that you guys have for senior citizens and that are through Medicaid and Medicaid, the more money you guys get, the more than you subsequently have to pay back.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah. Sorry, go ahead.
That information that you're just discussing, how can I call you that? About giving the village giving back to
To FOIA it, I would just FOIA for the vendor payments because those are on, they're probably on the bill run. So you can FOIA the check register bill run. The check register, because the village pays it through the bill listing every quarter, every other quarter, depending on when we receive the invoice. Go ahead.
Going back to the police department expenditures,
Mm-hmm.
and maybe this is a question for the chief. What year did we have our school set? I know currently we're hiring for more policemen. What year did we have that school set?
I don't know. This is going to be
2015.
It's been a while since we kind of been needing more staff members.
Right.
And looking at the amount that's being paid out to policemen and women and the pension that's also being paid out, which of course is needed, how much more of an increase will that be in our taxes, or will that be that we can see in the report when we add more personnel to the department?
So it depends on how you fund it. So when you're hiring police, the police have a grant called the COPS grant. So that COPS hiring grant, what it does is you can hire X number of police officers, and the federal government will pay a portion of their salaries. The rule in general is that you have to keep the officers on for 5 years, and they will pay for 3 of those years. Now, usually it's a 75-85 split. So the local government covers 15-25% of it, and then the federal government will cover the remaining 75%. But that is also dependent on, it's a competitive-based grant. So just because you apply for it doesn't mean you always get it. There's other stipulations to go along with it, but that is a high-level overview of that grant.
Her initial question, I heard answers from everybody else except you. Can you answer this question?
I don't know what you're, it was, the board would know that better. I don't know, the 2015 is the answer.
He wasn't here.
I wasn't here then, so I don't know.
Under John Townsend. Right. You were there.
Okay, fire
2015.
department. This is a similar breakdown like I had with police for the fire department. So in the fire department, the orange is their base salaries. So what you can notice is we're going from $1.8 million to $1.6 million this year. As the fire chief said, we're down on staff, which is relevant as to how we can see overtime has gone up. Now, the pinkish one, that is your pension obligations. So we went from last year paying $824,000 in pension contributions to this year we made $1.3 million. The red is all of the other expenditures, which, like I discussed earlier, that is because of the GMT and the capital outlays that we've done. Next slide, please. Okay. This is your golf course, the revenue that has been generated in the golf course from when the village effectively took over running the golf course. So what we can notice is in 24 and 25, we made a little less than $60,000 for the village taking over operations. I broke this down by month after that, and what you can see is basically every month after, we made more than we made it for an entire year, with the highest being made in August of almost $170,000. So your guys' golf course operations has drastically increased in the revenue that is being generated from that facility. And going from when you guys were bringing in nothing and just having expenses coming out of the golf course, you are now bringing in more money than you were before. So kudos to all. Next one, please.
Can I ask a question?
Yeah.
Do you have any more proof of that?
I have got my financials, if that will, I guess the financials have the proof, and also you can look at the collections of what.
But you're speaking about golf course making the most in 2025?
No. August 2025 is when they made the most revenue. That would be on your chart, the highest level one. So it would be this month right here. There's going to be one, the chart previous with this one, this is just, you'll have it, the highest line is where we made the most revenue in 1 month. Yeah. This is a chart just like the one previously, but this one is broken down by the different categories of what is happening at the golf course. So orange would be the people actually playing golf. The pinkish ones, that is food sales. Yellow are like special events. Red is alcohol and beverages, and then et cetera, the rest of the colorings. So it's to give you a breakdown of where is the money in the golf course being generated. Next slide, please. Okay. Now, I'm going to go talking about the pension liabilities the village has. Because under state law, the village is obligated to fund its 3 different pensions, police, fire, and IMRF, to 90% by 2040. So I'm going to give you a high overview of where you guys stand on that requirement. This is data based off of the up to the fiscal year 25 actuary report, which is the most recent available. So the item in red, that is the liability, the total liability for each of the combined pensions. The item in orange, that is the assets each respective pension holds. And then the item in green, that is the difference between the liability and the assets. Now, what you can notice is that for our liability has been increasing, but not drastically increasing. It has been pretty steady as to how it's been going up. While on the other hand, our assets has been going up a lot more comparatively, which is resulting in the difference between the liability and the assets to go down, which is a good thing because as our assets go up, you want to either go in the either you want this number to be more than the liability, or at least equal to the assets to equal the liability, which means that in essence you are at net zero. Next slide. Okay. Now, the following slides are going to break down each of your pensions in the exact same methodology to show you what the liability is, what the asset is, and then what is the difference between the two. IMRF in general always does better than police and fire. It was one of the reasons why the state consolidated the investment authority into the state running the police and fire investments versus each in the local government managing their own investments. Because the IMRF gets better investment returns comparatively to police and fire individually because of the purchasing power. Because the more, when all of the communities combine their money, the more purchasing power and investment authority they have because they can buy better investments because they have higher amounts of cash, so to speak. Next slide, please. So this is your police pension break. One slide forward. This is your police pension. So what you can see is that our total liabilities is a little less than $20 million for police pension. Our assets are about $11.7 million. But between the 2 years, we had an increase of about $700,000 in assets for our police pension, when only our liability only increased by about $1 million. Now, this chart down here, this is a showing of the last 10 years, so to speak, of what the village has contributed to its pension fund. So we went from, in 2015, we were contributing a little less than $200,000 to now we're contributing over $800,000 as of 25. I don't have 26's information, but 26's information will be about 1.3 million. Next slide, please. This is the exact same type of chart, but for the firefighter's pension. So firefighter's pension, we had a liability in 24 of 22.2 million. We're down to a liability of 21.4 million, with assets changing of 10.8 million to 11.8 million. Now, similar to how I talked about police, in 2015, we were contributing $350,000 to the fire pension. We are contributing in 2025 $800,000. And then 26, when that is available, it'll be about 1.3 million as well. Next slide, please. So this is a breakdown of the total pension liability between police, fire, and IMRF. What you can notice is the majority of where your pension costs are in police and fire. Here is a showing of where your guys' contributions are for police and fire compared to each other. The village is very much on track to pay, to make it so that both police and fire are fully funded by the 2040 deadline of 90%. So this chart is to show how the EAV has changed over the last 10 years, a little more than 10 years for the village. So the village original EAV, this is the value of all your guys' homes, all the industrial properties, commercial properties in the boundaries of University Park. In 2013, it was a little less than 120 million. We are, as of 2025's tax bills, we're a little less than $270 million. The biggest change came between 23 and 24. But what I want to point out is even between 23 and 24, we still had an increase in value between 24 and 25, which means that all of your guys' properties in town, your homes, their value has increased between this year and last year, which as home ownership, you want to see that. Next slide, please. Now, this is to provide you a breakdown of where is your guys' property values in comparison of the total, go back one slide. Of the total 270 million, how is that 270 million split? So the majority of your EAV is in your industrial properties. They have the highest value of all the properties in town. They cover about 140 million of the total EAV. Then we have about 90 million that's residential property. The remaining 30 million is commercial. Next slide, please. Now, this is to provide a breakdown of how the taxes for the last 3 years have reflected. Go forward one slide. Oh, no, okay, go back one. One more forward. Okay, sorry, I thought it was a different slide. So what we can see is the majority of where your taxes in town are being paid by are your industrial properties. They pay the majority of your guys' taxes comparatively to the residential and commercial properties.
Question?
Yeah.
Why is there no difference between the industrial from 2024 to 2025 as opposed to the residential?
That would be my guess. Is there's I don't know that answer as a full, but I can give you a guess answer. Part of it has to do with if there's any new construction in town, because there isn't much in the sense of industrial construction, at least not to my knowledge. There's, I think, one or two that's actually reaching occupancy status, because the way Will County values property is until it reaches occupancy status, it doesn't get valued as a building, it gets valued as land. Once it reaches occupancy, then it's valued as land. So that could be part of it. The other aspect is it's also on where construction is. If there's more construction happening on homes, that's how the increase happens. Without looking more in depth, I really couldn't give you a much better answer. Yes, Ms. Milley? I don't understand your question.
Your property value, DAV, 2023 through 2025.
Yeah.
And I noticed that our material is dated.
It should be. Flip the page. It's the same pages. It should be like towards the last set of pages of the PowerPoint. Okay. Next slide, please. Here is a breakdown of the total tax rate from the village perspective from 2013 to 2025. What I want to point out is in 2013, we were a little less than 5% from a village tax rate perspective. To 2025, we are less than 4%. So over the last 10 years or so, the village tax rate has actually been going down. So the village has been reducing its tax rate, while at the same time increasing the services it's been providing, as you can see in the expenses. Next slide, please. Yeah. Now, this is the entire Will County tax rate. So you're basically, if you were to look at your tax bill, this is what you could see as the total tax rate that you're paying on your properties. So in 2019, it was about 16.2%. As of 2025, it's 12.5. What's the next slide, please? So this is to give you a breakdown of just the last 4 years. So in 22 is 14.1. In 2025, we are at 12.5. So you guys have had a tax rate reduction over the last years. I think that's my last slide. Yep.
Chris?
Thank you. Let's give Chris a round of applause. Now, here's the deal. We have consumed much of your time. I want to just put some suggestions. But we're going to call Robinson Engineering if they can begin preparing. Robinson, just 1 second. And very important, still we need to hear from Robinson. But some of you got cards. You got cards to fill out. I will come around again and grab the cards from you. Let's prepare for that. The other thing is the village manager has allowed us to still get village stickers. So if you're in here and you need a village city sticker, they're supposed to be on your cars July 1st. You have the option of running over to Village Hall and grabbing a city sticker. That's until 1 p.m. today, so that's starting. You can run over there and run back. All right. Lastly, it was one other thing, and we are going to just briefly, because I see it on the agenda, so you can hear it. The Zimmerman Aqua Water Compensation Settlement. Some of you are here, obviously, to discuss that. What we'd like for you to know again is we have the informational session that is going to be here on Tuesday, June 30th, and the lawyers will be in the room, ready and prepared to help you answer some of your questions. Village Manager, you want to say something?
Yes, so next Tuesday at 1:30, there will be some people here from Zimmerman's counsel from his law firm here to assist people. They'll have their laptops. So if you need assistance in filing your claim, we're urging you to please come. This will be the last opportunity that they will have to assist you, that they'll be able to come out and answer any questions. So if you can, please come out. And there's a lot of valuable information that we took from parts of the settlement agreement so that it's clearly outlined here, and there's a lot of important information here. So if you can, please, if you haven't received a claim form, it's not too late. You need to call the 877 number that's listed, or you can go on the website, but we advise that you call the 877 number. They'll be able to verify that you're eligible. If you pass around the forms, it has unique identifying information specifically for that claimant in that home. So please do not pass your claim form, because you will not receive that money. We just need you to show up Tuesday here at 1 p.m. and we're going to take first come, first serve, and we'll probably end up passing out cards so that we can make sure everyone gets assisted that was in line. Yes. You can come just as long as you have all that information and you live in the same house, okay? Okay. Thank you.
All right, and finally again, your questions are important. We encourage you to write on the cards. Every question will be answered. Again, the time is drawing nigh, so I don't want you to feel like your questions won't be answered. Make sure you give them to me, and the police chief even offered, if you have any questions related to the police department, he has on his website an Ask the Chief. Those questions can be answered and shared with the public so that all of you can get the same answers, right? We are a transparent village because it's necessary. Mr. Robinson, without further ado. I mean, you don't own the place, huh? It's Robinson Engineering.
Thank you very much for the introduction. Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Ron Smith with Robinson Engineering. Thank you for the opportunity. We definitely cherish being able to provide engineering services and solutions for the Village of University Park. Thank you, Mayor, Board of Trustees, elected officials, and of course the residents, department heads, and employees. Right now we just have a couple projects that we're going to identify. There are about 4 projects that we're going to be working on this year. The first project is Burnham Drive from Sandra Drive to Burnham Avenue South and Thornwood Mall Drive. Those are roadway improvements. We'll be taking a look at drainage solutions. Basically, the scope of work will be a surface mill and overlaying, replacing and removing some of the concrete and sidewalk, and also paving with leveling binder, surface, thermoplastic pavement markings, and landscaping. The second project would be the Hickok Aquatic Center demolition. So through funding from Will County ARPA, we will be demoing the Aquatic Center building, also the pool. So that will be happening this summer. Also, we're looking at Signal Drive, South Central Avenue, roadway improvements. We just took a look at that. We are performing a cost estimate. We just performed and completed an assessment of the condition of the roadway and also what improvements need to be made. Again, we're working on coming up with a cost estimate for those fundings. And the last one is University Parkway from Governor's Highway to Cicero Highway. That'll be a roadway and intersection improvement project. We had applied for funding through CMAP. We are very extremely happy that we are going to get funding from that through CMAP. So those are the 4 projects that we're currently working on for the Village of University Park. Thank you very much for your attention. Yes.
I just have a question about the Hickok Aquatic Center. After the demo, what is it going to be?
You would have to, we're, as part of this project, we're just going to level the project out. The administration would better able to tell you of what the improvements will be for the future. Yes, sir.
Yes, my question, you may or may not be able to answer now, but it regards the pool.
The pool is going to be demoed as well. So the pool will be removed and it will be filled. Filled. Yes. Okay. Yes, ma'am. You would have to ask the administration that. Might be an issue with health and safety reasons. I am not for certain. Okay? I will entertain any more questions. Other than that, thank you very much, and everyone have a wonderful weekend.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Next, and Miss Mildred, that could be one of your questions if you want to put that on the card. Next, we'll have the Revere consultant. But before we do, Mayor Rudez, you had a message.
Well, I would just like to ask everyone to give our manager Scott and her team a great round of applause, because I couldn't have this done as the mayor without the strong village manager and the supporting administration of that. So I just wanted to make mention of that, and thank you so much.
Ooh, okay. All right, so next, Revere Consulting. Let's give him a round of applause. He's coming to us regarding the EV charging stations. Can you do it yourself? Okay. All right. So I picked up as many cards as you shared. Does everybody have, anybody else have cards that they want to share for comments? Oh, I see you. Okay. All right.
All right, thank you. Hello, everyone. I'm Keith Fish. I'm with Revere EV Solutions. Thank you, Mayor, trustees, Liz. Appreciate you. All right, here's a quick overview of a project that we're partnering with Robertson Engineer as a preferred EV solution expert. All right, so the sites are public EV charging, and it's going to be at the Metro Station, Metro West, and Metro East lot. It's going to be 10 ports at each location for EV charging. The local community could pull in they can charge the EVs, jump on the metro, go into the city, and come back, and they'll be charged. It's going to bring economic development to the area. You guys are going green, and it's a revenue-generating opportunity for University Park. All right, so this is a map of the area, and you can see in the orange here is where the DC fast chargers are at. The greens are level 2 chargers. So the metro, as I said before, the metro lots are going to have 10 ports at each metro lot, and then you're going to have 4 DC fast chargers at the golf course, and that's going to work great with the increased traffic that you have at the golf course. All right, university EV charging ports, the number of chargers, this is your potential revenue stream that you can see there. And we're going as low as 1.5% revenue, and that's with 22 minutes of charging across the solution, up until if you hit 10% of the capability of charging within a 24-hour period, your yearly revenue could be to $138,000. Total project cost is $407. My apologies. I've been sitting there rehearsing this. Total project cost for this is $742,000. CJA grant is $260,000, offsetting that $742,000. The charging locations, the golf course, if you're looking at the clubhouse, when you pull in, that's where the blue dot right here, that's where the equipment is going to sit. The 4 charging ports is going to be the yellow line here. For the Metro West, the gear is going to be here. This yellow line is going to represent the EV charging locations. And here's for the east lot. The blue lot is where the equipment is going to be. The yellow line is going to be the designated parking spot for EV charging. All right, that's a quick overview of the project. I'll answer any questions. Yes, sir.
With respect to the 10 parking spots on each side of the metro, each side.
Yes, sir.
Did I understand you correctly to say that a person could use that a spot and get on the metro and come back, and their car is all charged, and that car is going to stay in that spot all the time?
Now, so that's a great question. So now we're working with. Do you want to add to your question?
Well, you know what? Let me just say this before you begin to answer that.
Mm-hmm.
Because if the answer is yes, that's about the most craziest thing I've ever heard. That a person could lock up a spot for all day and no one else could use it. That's a loss of revenue, and it's just not efficient.
That's a great question, and actually, you know what? You actually want that person to sit there, because after you charge them for using the EV, it's an additional charge that they charge to that car for turning it into a regular parking spot. That's the best of both worlds.
Okay, well, that would make sense, except that is the revenue that's going to be generated by him sitting there going to be more greater than or equal to what somebody else can use that parking spot for?
It's like you was already in on our meetings. Yes, because it's actually going to be like, it's going to penalize them for going over at a certain point. And so it's actually going to increase. That's a great question.
And final
yes.
question is that with respect to the golf course, will a person be able to sit or take that space and stay in his space until he finishes a round or two of golf?
The same the same system is set, so if they're using it, those are DC fast chargers, so it's going to alert them when the charging session is up. If they sit there past that time period, actually then it's going to go into charging them for occupying that spot. So, and that's going to be additional revenue. We want people to grab their cars and manage that time, but if they decide to make it a parking spot, then yes, there's going to be additional revenue for the village.
Can I add something?
Yes.
So when you talk about revenue, you have to think it's $2.50 to park your car at the Metro lot, right, and go. When you sit and you continue to let it charge, we might make $40 for that same amount of time. So kind of hope you do sit there, because you're going to continue to incur the price that it would if you were charging. And just so you know, if you have an electric vehicle, it actually sends you a notification, and it gives you so many minutes of a grace period. And most charging stations are like this. That's how they are guaranteed to generate revenue, because you're right, if not, people will sit there and use it as a parking space.
Thank you. If I may just
Yes, sir.
one final question. That is,
Absolutely.
what is the cost of an installation for installing a one spot, an EV spot?
I could, if you give me your information, if you share your information or email, I can actually get you that breakdown per spot. Yeah, I don't have it off the top of my head.
I'm just trying to get at the payoff, to the village for that particular spot. When will they start breaking even on after, the cost of the installation?
Absolutely, sir. I can get you that analysis. I don't have it off the top of my head. Yep. Any other questions on the?
And keep in mind that we didn't pay for the majority of this. It was through a grant. So we have a lot less money that we'll have to make up because we were able to get the money from the state. So.
Yeah. Great questions. Thank you. All right. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, thank you, thank you. I like the part about it's a grant, so that means the burden of this project is not on our backs, but we get the benefit of it. All right, so on quickly to your questions. Should I say your name, or you're okay, public? Miss Ivy? Okay, so Miss resident Yoki Ivy says, how can we get our water bills from Aqua? We are being denied. That's number one. I'm sorry. Okay, number two, what happens after the claims are, you want to say it, submitted?
Can I? Hold on, move the screen.
Oh. Okay. All right, and then to her third question, I'm going to put them all out. Why are we not giving out free water anymore? Okay.
Free what?
Hi, my name is Miss Ivy. I've been out here for 22 years. Thank you, Mayor, for hosting. The third question is that why, if Aqua claimed that the lawsuit is theirs, if Aqua is saying that we are allocated money, why are we not being given water again? Because right now, I am paying for water.
Right.
I'm paying for water. Why is Aqua not giving us water again if they are saying that, yes, they did wrongdoing? We're not getting that anymore. We're not getting water anymore. That was one of the questions. The first question was about Aqua is not giving us water bills. I've talked to a number of people. The lady next door to me asked me, how can she get her water? They wouldn't give it to me. Yeah, but that's illegal though, because they know that they have to pay us. We have a right to our water bill so that we can be paid, and we're not getting them. So they're doing all they can to not give us those water bills so that they could decrease the payment as much as possible. And I don't know if anyone noticed, this is not new. In Missouri, Aqua did the exact same thing with a black town. They did not get paid because the town was too small. They did not get paid. University Park got paid, so bravo to everyone out here that, contributed to working on the water bill. Yeah. But if we let them, the money is gonna go back because no one is claiming all the money. So once that $12 million, if it doesn't get to 12 million, what's gonna happen with the rest of the money? Is it gonna be redistributed out to the people again?
So I wanted to, go
Thank
ahead.
you, I appreciate it.
Well, let me keep your cup. So we
Kim,
Yes,
can
ma'am.
I speak to that?
Please, Ms. Trustee.
Okay. Aqua is supposed to be able to email or mail you a copy of your bill during that August 2018 to June 2019. Now, for some reason, they sent it to me, but my paper was blank. So I talked to Mr. Zimmerman. We had a long conversation. He said, if for some reason you don't have that document, when he comes in here on Tuesday with 4 of his attorneys, he has a spreadsheet of how much people had paid during that time. So he has some type of basis to go on. He will have you fill out an affidavit swearing to that amount if you don't want to take the amount that they have pre-made. But he does have a spreadsheet that will give him some type of idea of what people were paying during that time. You sign that affidavit, it gets stamped, he's going to put it through so that you can collect that amount. And that goes the same for anybody that does not have, there's people who have medical situations. Everybody don't have proof of everything. He does want you to bring doctor's statement or something showing that this condition occurred pre-existing or it came after. But if you can bring that information with you, and again, if you don't, he will have a affidavit for you to sign off saying this is what you have, this is what's what, and he's gonna have that put through for you. Now, he may request at another date additional documents, but at least when he comes in here Tuesday with 4 attorneys, and they will have their laptops open, you can bring in your claim form and they can sit there and help you fill it out, or they're going to go in the system and file it for you. But he's trying to think of all the ways that we can get accurate money to the best of his ability. Because Aqua is not giving us anything. Understand, we went to court with them, and it wasn't until that 11th visit that we finally found a loophole and was able to sue their insurance company. Aqua don't want us to have diddly. This ain't Aqua. This is Zimmerman. This is his law firm that has done the research and has gone to court numerous times to get this $12.5 million. No, do we think it's enough? Absolutely not. We have suffered. People have gone through all kind of stress, strain. If you got a job, maybe you lost work, bring that information. If you own a business and you lost money during that time, whatever proof you have, bring it. Because he's going to try and work with you to get what you deserve. But you got to bring something, and he will have affidavits to fill out if you don't have everything that you're supposed to have. He's going to do everything, his team, to work with us. So let's show up on that date. And if you don't have the form, he will create a password and a code to get you through the system. I just talked to him on Thursday, so he's going to do everything in his power to get us straightened out before that July 6th deadline. Yes.
Right, and I wanted to respond as well. For also, what's happening is, because I did receive my Aqua statement information. Several other people have received it, but the problem is that when the people are now, I gotta hold this.
She's going to talk to this one.
Okay, so what's happening is when residents are calling, they're saying they need this information for their Aqua settlement. On the documents, it says, do not contact Aqua. And that's basically saying something about a lawsuit or a claim, and that's what people are doing. And because of that, that has caused the issue, because it says do not contact them at all, but you can contact them for your account history. if you just said that. But a lot of people are now calling saying, I need this for an Aqua claim or lawsuit, and they're not going to provide that information. And so, no, I'm saying some people, not you. No, I'm saying not you. I'm saying some people have been doing that because that's what they tell me. They're calling saying, I need this for the Aqua settlement, but the document says, as you read, it says do not contact Aqua. So they had people in the system that they was going to be providing their information, and once people started doing that, now they're cutting it off because someone else received a blank. They just had the headers, like you said, Trustee Williams, it just said the headers and they gave them nothing. So now I guess maybe Aqua is being instructed to don't provide no information to everybody because now they know what it's for. I have reached out to, when I received mine, I reached out to the person. It was like, well, this is the wrong information. She was like, well, I'm getting a lot of people that was requesting for this time frame. I said, oh, okay, maybe they just need it. So I didn't say anything about lawsuit or claim, but because people are now saying, I need this right now for this claim or lawsuit, now Aqua knows exactly what it's for, and they haven't been provided, unfortunately. And then the second part of your question is what happens with the money left over. Once there's no money left over. That's why on each one of those categories it says your amount could be either higher or lower. Okay, so based off of the amount of claims that's been turned in. So if people turned in their claims, it's based off of how many people turned their claims in, and it's also based off of how many people have decided to choose the unverified to the verified, how many people did it correctly. So that money is still going to be there, so it can either go up or it can go down. So it's not going to be like where they just keeping the money left over. The lawsuit, the claim, you have to pay it out. So that's basically what it is. So there's not going to be nothing left over, but it could be your amount, everybody's amount could be either higher or lower based on the amount of claims that has been submitted and based on the amount of claims that's been verified or unverified. So that amount it varies. So I just wanted to say those two things.
And then I want to add, so.
I'm gonna do it. Hold on.
And
It's once I turn this one.
okay. So when I called Aqua, I don't think so. So I want to just remind residents that 877 number is important because I never received anything from Zimmerman's firm. I never received anything. When I called the number, the person that answered the phone told me my name was nowhere in their system. I've been living in University Park since 1989. So anyway, my name was not in the system. So then when I called Aqua and I said I would like my account history, they said, okay, you can get it in 7 to 14 days. Okay. So when I did receive it, it came in an email, but it didn't say Aqua. It said whoever the staff person's name. And so it went straight to my spam. So if you did request it via email, check your spam, and it'll just be some random person's name who works there. I never did receive the one they said they sent me in the mail, so just.
Yeah. And even with the person's name, it still came out blank. It still did not, twice, I've got 2 different people, and both times it came out blank. But he is going to make sure on that spreadsheet whatever amount. And I know people don't want to go through old bank records and stuff, but there's always more than one way to skin a cat. So sometimes you might have records showing that. But he is going to make it easy because he has a spreadsheet showing what the average amount was during that time. And he'll have you fill out an affidavit for that so you don't get that less amount.
We're going to move on from that, but we're not moving away. I think the key message there is we must share information, talk to one another, but most importantly, the mayor and the board of trustees and the village manager has found a way to get the attorneys here in Village so that you can have access to them. And many of these questions, I'll bet you, they will probably be able to answer. So show up and show out. Mr. King?
With respect to the settlement, is the settlement net of attorney fees?
Are you saying will the attorneys get paid?
Because if it is not, we're not talking about $11 million, we're talking about a much lesser amount.
Yeah, that's true. They are going to get paid for.
You can
for what they
best
did.
believe the attorneys will be getting paid.
And then,
That's a part of any lawsuit.
It would be interesting to know what their cut is.
they have
Okay.
it. They have it listed.
Based off of the insurance, remember, he came and he spoke. So it was based off of the insurance carrier. It's not coming from that settlement money. They were clear to state that. I
Right.
can't remember the name of the company that was their insurance, but the money was coming from the insurance.
When you get the packet, it tells you how much the attorneys are going to get.
Right. Right. Yeah, they're going to get theirs. And
You can stay right there. I'll come to you.
I believe, good afternoon, everyone. I believe my question was answered by one of the trustees. I wanted to know if bank accounts, if you have your bank statements, can you bring that as physical evidence that you paid Aqua?
You can,
Okay.
you can, but the problem is the banks only give 7 years of history. So that's past the time frame, and they are not, you cannot get that information. So the banks only give 7 years of history.
you can try, because I've had people say they have it in their bank account. They have found
They can get they can get some of 2019 because that's part of that 7 year, which is 5 months. Some of them receive, but the 2018 hasn't been they haven't been able to get the 2018 because it's past the 7 years.
But if a person kept those records and have
If you
those
kept them,
records,
yeah.
then you can bring them. Because I had a lady tell me she had TCF, but she still had her records. She kept all her envelopes and statements. So if you have it, bring it. And if you had a loved one that may have passed away, bring that death certificate. If you're the POA for that person, bring as much evidence as you can so it can get properly processed. So that's important too. If you have information and that person is no longer here, but they were here during that time, bring that information as well.
We're going to move quickly further. There was a question about fireworks and the mosquito abatement schedules. Village Manager Scott, would you take that? The question was, they just have fireworks and mosquito abatement schedules.
It's the first time we've had a fireworks show in a long time, but no one is allowed to set off fireworks. And as far as the mosquito abatement, Clark is on a schedule with us, and I think they work with us through Will County. I'll check, but they believe that they come quarterly. So, to answer your question.
Next question is the golf course. The status, well, this is the status and balance of bonds, not these net financial monthly benefits to UP.
So we were spending roughly $1.1 million a year with a management company for the golf course. It wasn't working out. The board terminated the contract. We turned lemons into lemonade. Under my management, we went from a negative to, I believe, Chris, how much is it? We crossed over $800,000 in the black. So we're not paying a management company. We're collecting roughly, I think it's a little over 50,000 a month on average. So that's a good thing for the village.
And I believe this question may or may not have been answered, but Hickok Pool, what studies have been conducted regarding the possible usage of the pool, the total cost to demolish and rebuild it, and the annual cost to staff and maintain the pool?
That was my question, and since it's going to be filled,
Agreement with the South Suburban Humane Society in regards to the stray dogs apply to the numerous stray cats also.
So most municipalities have a contract with South Suburban Humane Society because it's very expensive to run a animal department. To give you an example, can I have that, please? And a lot of communities, even affluent communities, when I talk to other city managers, they have gotten away from putting together an animal control program, because you have to think, if you have 5 staff, you might be paying them, they're probably in the union, you're paying them 40 to 50 out the gate, then you have to think of what we're contributing to IMRF, then you also have to put into account that each person, we are responsible, we spend approximately $20,000 our portion to cover their insurance. So you add that up, you're looking at a $700,000 operation. That's not including all the supplies you need for the dog. That's also high exposure, because you're taking the risk that, you know, we have all these employees that could be bitten by the dogs. So there's a lot that comes into play with animal services. So what the alternative is South Suburban Humane Society, which is something that was very passionate of President Preckwinkle. She's actually the person who got South Suburban Humane Society established and running out here. But it serves as a great conduit for us to be able to funnel the dogs, and the dogs that are more adoptable, they partner with rescue organizations. So we love our dogs in the community. I know I do. So it just makes sense to do it that way. So a lot of times you would have to call out independent wildlife. It depends. There's organizations, believe it or not, that deal with strictly like bald eagles and things like that, and are more exotic animals, and you would have to call them out. The other thing I've seen is sometimes the county will give you trappers to put out to try to trap the animals. It's not the best solution, but I have seen that. But I will tell you, there are many organizations that are passionate about animals, and depending on the type of animal, if you Google it, because I've had to do it before, they do have organizations specific to that animal type.
PAWS is one. P-A-W-S. Okay. All right. We're getting there. How are we partnering with Governor State University? How's the village partnering with Governor State?
So we're partnering with Governor State because they're currently passing out their master plan. We recently had a meeting, the mayor and I attended, with several townships, including Rich Township. Also, many municipalities were there and stakeholders, and they are asking us to share their master plan so that they can incorporate it for their vision for the community and bringing this up to par for a collegiate campus. The other thing is we currently have some interns. I applied for a grant for Governor State. Neva was the one who brought me the grant. She was over there. She goes over there a lot. Applied for the grant. We were able to get some interns. We have one intern that recently graduated from Governor State, a young gentleman, and I really like him a lot. He graduated recently with a degree in accounting. So it's really hard to find municipal accountants that are well-versed in local government. Being an accountant and a municipal accountant, two totally different animals. So we're really fortunate that John Kasparik's team has taken him under their wings. They're trying to train him up to see if that's someone that maybe we could do homegrown, and he'll end up being trained in the community. But the great thing about the grant is Governor State pays for a large majority of it, and so we cover literally, I believe it's less than $8 an hour for the gentleman, and he's doing great work. So we do things like that. We also have, when they have hiring events, there recently was something with with the Highway Division. We always make sure that we participate, we partner with them. We also have Governor State that has come back to our golf course, I'm very happy to say. Also, Richton Park recently had an event at our golf course. So the young golfers that golf through Governor State, they now have rehomed back to our municipal golf course. So we're really grateful for that. So those are just some of the ways that we partner with them.
Thank you, thank you. All right, there's the question of code enforcement. Let's play musical tables. Code enforcement. What's the process for homeowners to comply with the codes that the village sets out?
So what I desire, and that I do request of code enforcement, is that if someone isn't compliant, a perfect example, if someone leaves their garbage can out, I ask that we give them a warning first, because a lot of people come into the community, they're new. By the way, we're working on a welcome packet, because people, when they come in the community, they're not going to know the days you have to pull their garbage can back. We may not know, because we may not have had contact with that house to find out that that person that lives there that is disabled. So we try to make contact with the individual through a warning first. If it's not remediated after so many days, we do write tickets. We're not in the practice of writing tickets off the top, because the whole point of a citation, in my opinion, is not to tax the residents, it's to comply so that the community will be more beautiful, people will be in compliance, we won't have garbage cans and garbage strewn all on the floor because raccoons are getting into it. So it's not so much that we want to tax people and tax people out of their homes, we just want to beautify the place and have it look like these other communities that you see. So that's kind of where we're at. And let me say this, I know for years, maybe tickets weren't written as they should have been. So now that we're starting to write tickets, I am finding that people are coming out of the woodwork, they're getting upset. Some of the tickets I am investigating, and I'm finding that they are founded tickets. But we do try our best to, just get people to comply. If you do have an issue, I'm begging you to please contact me. There will be no retaliation from my office if I find out that my staff is doing that. That's a conversation that I will have with my staff. But the only way that we know what's really going on in your home is if you communicate. So if there's issues with that individual, they're a senior, they need assistance, please let us know. So that's where we're at with that. Thank you.
And then, let's see, when and what, now this you'll be able to answer, Village Manager, we just did this. When and how will you start having youth apply for summer jobs? Is there a help in supporting UP residents to find employment in the area? And what can residents do, this is beautiful, to help improve University Park? Oh, shoot, wait a minute, I want to give you all. When will Burnham Drive from the light to pass will White Oak Lane be fixed? Road is in need of repairs.
I think I had stated that that's going to be in August or September. The Hickok Pool, they're happening around the same time, even though they're in different locations. What was the other question? So I love how you can help participate. We had a cleanup for the community. I think 2 residents showed up. So we offer these things for the community because we want participation. We want to touch every home. You know, the reason why I believe people move to the suburbs is because they like the feel of the community, that everyone knows each other. You know your neighbor. It's easy if you have a complaint. You can reach out and touch someone, whereas in the city of Chicago, you can't talk to the mayor. You don't get to go to the 5th floor. So we want to bring that sense of community back, beautification. So that's along the lines. I think you got to give me one question at a time. Oh, okay, for the summer. So we just closed that up. I was very happy to know. Typically, we get about 13, 14, 15 kids. We got an inordinate amount for the village. We got literally a little more than half of our entire workforce. We only have about 80 employees. We got about 49. Then we weeded out a few that we're trying to get through that were from adjacent communities, and we were then down to like 41 or so. Some people applied late. We do this every summer. It opens up around, I think, May. So please apply. I will say that because of the large demand for the youth, we are going to be partnering with people in the industrial. The mayor suggested, as well as the trustees, that I reach out to big box companies in the industrial to try to take on and absorb some of these youth for next year. So hopefully we'll be able to accommodate everyone. We didn't have to do a raffle this time because we had several kids that didn't show up on that day. So we love for the community to participate. How you can get involved is when you see events, call. We always need volunteers. The Mo's committee does everything, but as you can see, we have so many events now. So we would love for you to call. We had a food giveaway for Thanksgiving, and I love that some of the library trustees, Ms. Deborah Taylor, came out, and a few other residents that donated their time to make it happen. So we love that. Thank you.
All right, we are almost there. What is the amount of police fire unfunded liability? Is there a debt service? Maybe this is Chris. Date of most, what is this? Date of most, recent audit. Date of our most recent audit. Yep.
So as of right now, the village has no outstanding bonds, so that's all paid off. Your guys' pension liability is in the 20 million range. What was the last part of the question?
Oh, just the date of the most recent audit?
Most recent audit that was completed was the 21 dated in February.
Oh, and there's one more. Amount of the golf course debt?
The golf course, you guys have no outstanding bonds, so as such, there is no golf course debt. The only thing that would be considered as golf course debt would be in relation to the leases for the vehicles, but those are, you guys pay about less than 12, I think, $12,000 a month for your guys' all your cart leases.
And not just the carts, but lawn equipment.
All right. Now, there's one last question here, and I just think for ethical purposes, it's personal. So what we probably want to do is just share this. I can just say, you're naming your addresses and neighbors, so we don't want to publicly scorn anyone that is not here. So I'll forward this to the village manager. But that concludes this town hall meeting. Let us just, there's one person, remember I said earlier, we don't want to leave anyone out. Missing from our group today is our village clerk. I want you guys to lift up the name of Miss Dolores Jones, Dorothy Jones, I'm sorry, and I know I usually just call her Master Clerk, but forget the Dorothy part, but she's a Master Clerk, and we honor her, and we are so sorry that she couldn't be with us today. But I wanted to mention her name because somebody asked, oh, that was you, Miss Millie, earlier. There were a lot of names mentioned in Chris's financial update, and so a lot of people don't know what certain things are, and they matter. But one of them, you mentioned FOIA, which is the Freedom of Information Act. That is indeed what Ms. Dorothy Jones, as our clerk, handles. So if you have any questions, this village is transparent. It is run publicly. It's a public municipality. So what we do here, what's done here, is for the public's consumption. And how you access that is through Freedom of Information. And that you can reach out to our clerk at any time to acquire a Freedom of Information. Yes, Ms. Millie?
I just had a question, just a couple of things I'd like to know about. As I drive up and down University Parkway, on the park side of University Parkway, there are open wires. And I'm very concerned about that with the accumulation of water and these wires there. I mean, ever so often there's wires. And I mean, that wire is just laying open, it's just exposed to everybody. And I'm so afraid as people travel, walking, or going across the street.
Safety.
These wires are open. They're open in the air. And I've gone to code enforcement. I've been trying to catch up with
The Public Works?
I just finished talking earlier with safety guy there, and no one seems to, not even residents, no one seems concerned about these open wires. I mean, have you guys seen them? there's a pile of junk behind there. There's big vehicles. None of them have stickers or plates on it.
Mhm.
And more and more. We're talking about trucks. There's a big yellow bus. There's power and all that stuff.
Mhm.
And I keep trying to bring that to someone's attention. There's a van over there with a busted out window.
Mhm. So if my memory serves me, at least that portion of your question earlier, I don't know if Chief Starks mentioned that. Did you hear what he was mentioning earlier? Okay.
This is what I get. And I don't think that it would be the same if a resident, if it happened on their property, if that was their vehicles and has accumulated with no vehicle stickers, no state stickers, they say, I keep hearing, it's going to be separate.
Now, one of the vehicles has a valid, but well, I'm going to tell you.
That's private property. And because my husband in my car was sitting out on our driveway, this was years back, and we had stickers, my husband had just not applied it. But we got tickets just for not having a sticker. Now I'm hearing that, you know, you can have a busted out window, you can have raggedy vehicles, you can have an accumulation. I mean, if anybody just go and look and see what I'm talking about, as we travel east and west, it looks bad to the eyes and the village to have these big giant things over there behind the old Chinese restaurant. And then if you look behind, and this is also on the church, if you look behind the Chinese restaurant, there's an accumulation of junk. We're talking about real junk. I have taken everybody over there. No one seems to, no one seems to be bothered by what that looks like and it's constantly accumulating and accumulating. And then we hear that those are trucks that belong to a cursed property where the place is being remodeled, but they're bringing them up.
I'm gonna close the meeting so she can. Okay.
Well,
Hold on. I'm gonna tell.
I'll answer that question real quick. Now, first and foremost, I agree with you when it comes to the beautification of the town. I am total agreement with you. But like I told you earlier, there's a process. That property owner has been notified. They have been cited. They have been fined. There's a process to all of this. And so it hasn't been forgotten. It hasn't been ignored. I went over there, we took pictures. Code enforcement has been over there. That process has started. So, they've received the ticket, and they are being fined for that. And so they're being held accountable. But I agree with you 100% with the beautification of the town. You know. Well, I tried to tell you, and I tried to explain to you that that there is a process. That, I don't give excuses, but I did tell you there was a process. And certain things have to be done certain ways in order for them to stick. And so by code enforcement, reaching out, informing the owner, formally citing and fining them, that's how we get things to stick. That's how we can get the enforcement action to take place, because we can't do 2 and 3 without doing step 1 first. And so everything is getting done. So I like to say, I agree with you 100% on that. I want the town to be beautiful. I agree. That's why I think there was a house on Sutherland at the cul-de-sac. My guys went over there and cited that. They reached out to that property owner who lives in a different state. And we told them, we don't care that you're not here no more. Clean this crap up.
Chief.
So I agree with you.
Chief.
Yes.
I want to ask.
That's
Because
just
I don't know
like
the
when we had-
process. At a certain point, can those vehicles be towed?
We cannot tow those off of private property. That's all we can do as a village is fine them. We can't tow them.
I told you to talk to the church.
I called the church too about
Well,
that van. Yeah, I called them too, and I'm going to continue to call them. So I agree with you. I do, 100%.
Kim,
So
could you-
and I will
Kim,
keep you updated on that. Like I said, that process has
Can you,
started, and I will keep
recognize
you up because
Kevin, who worked for
I'm in
me?
total agreement with that. I really am.
So my job.
right. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much. And again, everybody's comments and concerns are important. Thank you so much for coming. Make sure you don't just take this information, but take it to your neighbors. Thank you. On behalf of the mayor and the board of trustees, all of y'all. Kevin, don't forget Kevin Battles for your next community event. Back to school.